Part 14. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 131. Sixth place on the list of heavenly Dao, Emperor Murongyi, from the Xiao family of Tianluo domain, received 5 drops of quasi-immortal essence blood. 5 copies of the supreme treasure, 5 copies of the inheritance of mysterious powerful men, 3.5 sticks of incense, the initiation of the heavenly ways. 2 copies of growth level magic weapons, 2 copies of growth level armor, 2 copies of growth level soft armor, and 2 copies of the Great Emperor's art. Did Murong Yuhuang receive the reward? The rewards are successfully received and the challenger channel is closed at the same time. You cannot challenge others or accept challenges from others. If you choose not to receive it temporarily, challengers will be able to continue to challenge you. Please consider whether to claim it as appropriate. Xiao Junlin smiled lightly, choose to receive it. He couldn't beat the monsters in front of him, and the people behind him didn't want to believe in his acting skills. If you don't get the luck of others, you might as well receive the rewards and practice honestly. Then a golden light instantly fell on Xiao Junlin's body. I saw the endless majesty of a king bursting out from his body, the brilliance of the heavenly enlightenment. He directly allowed his cultivation realm to break through the Supreme Lord, and did not stop until he broke through to the 5th level of the Supreme Lord. When other treasures and quasi-immortal essence and blood were integrated into his body, Xiao Junlin's combat power became even more terrifying. Then Xiao Junlin's name fell to the bottom of 6th place on the Tiandao ranking. When everyone saw this, their expressions suddenly became solemn, and they felt nervous. One less spot. This also means that their competitive pressure has become even greater. Just when everyone was staring at the places on the Tiandao ranking, a golden ray of light suddenly sank into Xiao Junlin's body. That was the brilliance of luck, and the color of the rankings on the Tiandao ranking also changed into crimson red. This is also informing everyone that there are only the last 5 spots left among the top 10 geniuses in the heavenly Dao ranking. 5th place on the list of heavenly Dao, Xiao Yanyao, from the Xiao family in the southern Xinjiang Tianluo region, one of the top geniuses of the Xiao family. Since his debut, he has been talking nonsense constantly. He is known as the king of talkers. He is very powerful, but his mouth is stronger than his strength. When the Xiao family heard Tiandao's comment, they couldn't help but put their foreheads in shame. Sure enough, Xiao Yanyao's flirtatious words were even listed on the heavenly Dao ranking. After everyone in southern Xinjiang saw the comments about him from the Tiandao Bang, they couldn't help laughing. Many onlookers had watched his battle on the 36 talents list in southern Xinjiang. They all had envy and admiration for his strength and saucy words. Some people even became his fans and imitated him to say dirty things. This Xiao Yanyao is truly a well-deserved talker. That's right, he can't find anyone else in the vast continent who talks nonsense. It's no wonder that heaven is making fun of him. Don't tell me, other people's dirty talk needs to be powerful and impressive, and it needs to be staged. The most important thing is that he is so powerful. The 36 geniuses of southern Xinjiang, that shot was really wonderful. Yes, I even recorded his dirty talk. It's really useful. Countless onlookers had seen Xiao Yanyao's power. He was explaining Xiao Yanyao's deeds to other confused viewers. Since the Xiao family destroyed the branch of Wangxiang Tiangong, it is a slightly famous family in southern Xinjiang and even in the vast world. But compared to Xiao Tianyuan, Xiao Qingyuan, Xiao Jiangxin, and Xiao Yan, the popularity of these most powerful geniuses of the Xiao family, Xiao Yanyao is the most famous one. Just when everyone was continuing to learn more about Xiao Yanyao's deeds, a red flame appeared on the Tiandao ranking screen. Different from the previous golden brilliance, the scarlet flame red gives people a more domineering and nervous feeling. It makes people feel suffocated involuntarily. Tiandao Arena is open, and anyone who questions Xiao Yanyeo's strength can come on stage to challenge. Xiao Yanyeo's figure also appeared on the Tiandao arena at the moment when the red flame disappeared. He was seen holding the red peak spear and the immortal shield, standing on the ring with an inscrutable expression. A terrifying aura erupted around him, even if he was just glanced at by him. There is a feeling of being stared at and oppressed by a strong person. Xiao Yanyeo frowned slightly when he saw no one came to challenge him. Then his eyes swept around. Coupled with his arrogant and deep look, it actually made people feel looked down upon by him. It was as if he was the strongest person above him. I just needed to write the words "Look, I'm better than you" in big letters. When everyone saw this, they couldn't help but feel a little unconvinced. The geniuses at the same level as him are all arrogant beings. How could I stand being looked at by him like this? At this time, Xiao Yanyeo's expression suddenly became serious. Even the momentum around him has undergone tremendous changes. Everyone who is familiar with him will naturally know what he is going to do next. After all, it's written all over his face. You guys watch out, I'm going to show off. Therefore, everyone looked at Xiao Yanyeo in the picture with great anticipation. I want to see what shocking words he will say this time. Some of his fans immediately took out their notebooks. Prepare to record Xiao Yanyeo's dirty talk. Subsequently, under the watchful eyes of everyone, Xiao Yanyeo's flirtatious words were released. How dare you call yourself a genius? I stand on the stage and no one dares to challenge me. Are you so afraid of my fighting power? As expected, in front of a truly strong person. Everything is just the existence of the mirror, flowers in the water, and the moon in the mirror. I have the red peak spear in my hand to cut across the past and the present. How can ordinary people like you challenge the challenge of dominating the 8 wastelands? As soon as these words came out, people all over the vast world are angry. As a top genius and a legendary strongman, he was humiliated like this by a young boy. This is more than they can endure. However, there are Xiao Yan, Xiao Zhangtian, and Xiao Jinjian in front. No matter how angry they are, they still have to weigh the terrifying fighting power of the Xiao family. This Xiao Yanyeo is really arrogant. With such strength, you dare to call him invincible here. If you don't go up and teach him a lesson, he will really think that we are easy to bully. So what if heaven gives you a 5th place ranking? You won't be reduced to scum instantly by the strong man in front of you. With this tone, I really thought he was the most powerful god of war in all time. Bah! Even if you are only half a step above the level of cultivation of the Supreme Lord, you still dare to speak arrogant words in front of us. You still dominate the 8 desolations. Do you really think you are invincible after taking 5th place? For a while, people all over the vast world were criticizing Xiao Yanyeo for his arrogance. In their eyes, this kid has never experienced social education. Even Duan Wu and Lin Fifen's expressions changed when they heard this. But they are the top 3 in Zhongtian rankings. If you want to challenge a guy who only talks nonsense and has no fighting ability, even if they win, they will lose the face of their top genius. Therefore, even if you are not used to hearing it, you must endure it. As for the people in southern Xinjiang, they all shrugged and looked accustomed to it. This is just normal performance. You haven't heard anything more outrageous yet. Look. Someone is going to challenge. It's Yang Yufei. Yang Yufei is the number 1 in Beiming. Legend has it that he once fought against Bai Ziliu, the 4th best player in Zhongtian, and he didn't lose at all. Bai Yufei is very powerful. I don't know if Xiao Yanyeo can catch Yang Yufei's attack. I saw someone taking action. People in the vast world are excited. They were very much looking forward to Yang Yufei, the number 1 player in Beiming, meeting Xiao Yanyeo, the king of talkers. Who is better? Of course, the majority of the onlookers wanted to see Yang Yufei teach Xiao Yanyeo a lesson. Xiao Bazai, you should suffer a little now. On the heavenly arena. Xiao Yanyao looked at Yang Yufei, who was teleported over, and did not put him down at all. You are so brave, you actually dare to challenge me. What he meant by this was as if he was saying, you are not worthy of challenging me, so get out. How could Yang Yufei endure such verbal humiliation? He burst out with his own momentum on the spot and immediately launched an attack on Xiao Yanyao. Then let me see whether you are the most powerful with your words or your strength. Xiao Yanyao shrugged indifferently. The people who talked to me like this in the past eventually became the dead souls of my gun. But you don't have to be afraid. With the way of heaven here, even if you die, you will be repaired. Not only Yang Yufei was angry now. Everyone in the vast world was extremely angry. This guy's pretense is too much. How dare you say such things so brazenly? Of course there are his fans and slutty admirers. Silently, I wrote down all these dirty words in a small notebook. The next time they encounter an opponent they can't beat, they can make such saucy remarks. It can't be beaten, but the momentum must be strong. You wanna die? Yang Yufei became furious and a long whip appeared out of thin air. It drives the air currents in the sky, and the terrifying momentum makes even the Tiandao arena tremble. The next moment, he took a step in the air, and the terrifying void Dharma instantly burst out. I saw the Dharma image moving with the movement of his body. The long whip in his hand also became more terrifying the moment the Dharma appeared. This whip not only changed the color of the heavenly emperor, but also caused the heavenly Dao arena to shake violently. This whip is enough to kill you. Yang Yufei glared at Xiao Yanyao angrily. This move shocked everyone in the vast world. Yang Yufei also used this move to prove his strong strength. For a moment, everyone in the vast world looked at Xiao Yanyao. It seemed that he was waiting for the ultimate pleasure when Xiao Yanyao was killed. Then Xiao Yanyao looked at the whip with an indifferent expression. Such a terrifying and powerful whip did not seem to attract his attention. Not only that. Xiao Yanyao also put away the Chifeng spear in his hand, and then pointed a finger. The three-legged cat dares to show off his kung fu and embarrass you. All it takes is one finger to defeat you. Then a terrible whiteness erupted from his sight. The terrifying gun light spurted out instantly, carrying endless power. In the extremely horrified eyes of everyone, they headed towards Yang Yufei's long whip. The killing move that Yang Yufei was proud of was defeated by Xiao Yanyao. Then the gun light penetrated his chest and killed him directly. Almost at the same time. The vast world that was boiling to the extreme seemed to have turned on silent mode. Everyone looked in shock at Yang Yufei, who was killed by one finger on the Tiandao ranking screen. They originally thought that with Yang Yufei's strength, he could at least take on Xiao Yanyao for a few moves. Who would have thought that he couldn't even take one of the opponent's moves? What shocked them even more was this oral pleasure king. He actually has such terrifying strength. Even Duan Wu and Lin Fifen's expressions became ugly. Although they didn't take Yang Yufei's strength seriously. But you have to be able to deal with the opponent as easily as Xiao Yanyao. That is simply impossible. So the two fell into deep contemplation. Xiao Yanyao is only ranked 5th. What if there are several talented people in front of him? They don't even dare to think about it. At this moment, on the Tiandao arena, Yang Yufei's body was reunited by the brilliance of Tiandao. A dark yellow light flowed out of his body and submerged into Xiao Yanyao's body. The moment when Yang Yufei slowly opened his eyes. The eyes looking at Xiao Yanyao became fearful. At the moment of rebirth, what appeared in his mind was the image of dying. Such extreme pain made him deeply fearful of Xiao Yanyao. Until the light of heaven falls again. Only then did the fear in Yang Yufei's heart disappear. From the beginning to the end, Xiao Yanyao never saw Yang Yufei take him seriously. Even his indifferent expression has not changed at all. It seems that a person with Yang Yufei's strength cannot be his opponent. Xiao Yan looked at everything with a dazzling gaze. The terrifying aura on his body swept across the sky. I saw him standing with the Chifeng spear at his side, and an arrogant aura burst out instantly. There are 10% geniuses in the world, but I alone can defeat 99% of them. With the Chifeng spear in my hand, who can compete with me? All I can do is defeat me. When everyone heard this, their hearts became even more angry. But because of its powerful strength, many people only dare to keep it in their hearts. Even a powerful person like Yang Yufei couldn't take one of his moves, let alone them. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 132. CAO. This guy takes himself too seriously. After defeating Yang Yufei, I feel invincible. Why do you want to beat him to death so much? No matter how powerful you are with your words, your strength is still far behind other geniuses. If he had faced Duan Wu and Lin Fifan, two geniuses, he would have died without even knowing it. People are too lazy to pay attention to people like this. Their goal is to be in the top 3. That's true, but it also gives this guy bragging rights. Damn. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. Who will teach this guy a lesson? I've been unhappy with him for a long time. Look. Someone is going to challenge him. Just when everyone was talking about it, they wanted to kill Xiao Yanyao but couldn't. A young figure appeared on the Tiandao arena, teleported by the red flame. It's actually Emperor Taixu. I didn't expect that the one who challenged him was Emperor Taixu. Even Emperor Taixu couldn't bear it anymore. This little brat Xiao Yanyao is going to die. Emperor Taixu almost became a quasi-immortal. But if he is so powerful, why is he only ranked 6th in the Southern Xinjiang 36 ranking list? I heard about this at the time. He was selling face to Xiao Tianyun of the Xiao family. It is said that he and Xiao Tianyun were neck and neck at that time. In the end, Emperor Taixu gave in and Xiao Tianyun came first. The Emperor Taixu probably saw that the geniuses of the Xiao family are young and he appreciates talents, so he went to the 8th position. I see, I thought it was because Emperor Taixu was too weak. How is that possible? Emperor Taixu was the first person in ancient times to step into the ancient river of the starry sky, and he almost became a quasi-immortal. Look, Xiao Yanyao is definitely going to die now. Amid everyone's discussion, the deeds of Emperor Taixu quickly spread throughout the world. Therefore, everyone was waiting for Emperor Taixu to beat Xiao Yanyao severely. After all, people had given water to the Xiao family before this. This time, it's just about getting back what's yours based on strength. At this time, Emperor Taixu looked at Xiao Yanyao with a pleased expression. Like an elder who expects his disciples to succeed. Yes, you have grown to this point, and my original choice is not in vain. Emperor Taixu's words were just polite words. But it made people all over the vast world figure it out. Xiao Yanyao got this position only because he gave in. When Xiao Yanyao heard this, he just felt scornful. He had already learned about Emperor Taixu from Xiao Xian. Being forced to reincarnate is just my own excuse. The purpose is to get the great opportunity in this life and help yourself transcend. I still have to pretend that I am also forced to be helpless. Don't say useless words here. You're not strong enough to fight me. Don't think that just because you were the first emperor to step into the starry sky ancient river, you think you are great. It's just a matter of one shot for me to defeat you. Then he looked at Emperor Taixu indifferently. Don't say that your strength was not that good back then, even if you really became a quasi-immortal. Even under my Chifeng spear, one shot will surely defeat you. Since my debut, never failed. In the eternal starry sky, in the reincarnation, I am an invincible existence. Xiao Yanyao's words caused an uproar. As his fan, I record these words directly in the book. And he liked it repeatedly. How could they not think of these words? In the eternal starry sky, in reincarnation, there is an invincible existence. So awesome! Therefore, countless people were surprised by these words and nodded. Emperor Taixu was furious at Xiao Yanyeo's words. Since he obtained the immortal inheritance, he has almost never suffered a defeat. But Xiao Yanyeo, a young boy, dared to call him invincible in front of him. It's really overestimating one's abilities. Young man, your strength and qualifications are indeed good, but don't forget that there are people outside the world, and there is a sky outside the world. The last time he lost to Xiao Tianyun was an accident. Now that he has understood the inheritance of most of the immortals, it is not an exaggeration to say that he is invincible in this world. If we were to fight against Xiao Tianyun again, we would definitely defeat him within 3 moves. Not to mention Xiao Yanyeo. Let's do this. I'll give you a chance. You make the first move, and I won't be the one to bully the weak later. Xiao Yanyeo's expression was dull, with a trace of disdain flashing across his face. You alone need me to take action first? I can kill you with just 1 shot. Presumptuous. Emperor Taixu was angered by his words. I couldn't stand Xiao Yanyeo's pretentiousness in the first place, but now he was even more pretentious about himself. How could he, the reincarnated emperor, endure this? Therefore, he directly launched an attack on Xiao Yanyeo. I saw him taking 1 step in the air, and a terrifying aura instantly rushed into the sky. Boom! The terrifying pressure swept over, and even cracks appeared in the sky. For a moment, thunder rolled on the Tiandao arena, and countless black clouds instantly enveloped it. Die! Emperor Taixu punched the air, and the situation suddenly changed. The power of the fist drove a tornado, killing Xiao Yanyeo in an instant. Xiao Yanyeo's expression was dull, and the Qifeng spear in his hand was pointed at Emperor Taixu. A terrifying gunpowder burst out instantly. In an instant, the void shook, the sky shattered, and bursts of white gun light penetrated the void. Stabbing at Taixu Emperor, the two collided. A huge white barrier shot out in an instant. Under the white light, the terrifying power of the gun directly pierced Emperor Taixu's killing move. Then he broke through the void barrier and headed towards his life gate. I said, 1 shot is enough to kill you. Emperor Taixu looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief. He was so proud of his quasi-immortal heritage, how could he be so vulnerable? Then he burst out with terrifying power one after another. In an instant, the entire Tiandao arena was violently hit by Emperor Taixu's offensive. However, in Xiao Yanyeo's eyes, these moves that make people fear them are nothing more than embroidered legs and feet. Then he stabbed with another shot. All these killing moves of Emperor Taixu were defeated one by Xiao Yanyeo. Even the quasi-immortal inheritance, which he had already comprehended most of, was under Xiao Yanyeo's shot. Became extremely fragile, even if he even used the secret method. He couldn't catch Xiao Yanyeo's shot. Then the last barrier in front of him was broken. The terrifying gunpowder instantly penetrated the Taixu Emperor's body. No. At the moment when Emperor Taixu's body fell to the ground, his eyes were filled with astonishment and disbelief. As the force of the gun entered his body, Emperor Taixu's voice suddenly stopped at this moment. When everyone saw this, they became silent again. Not even a powerful man like Emperor Taixu could defeat Xiao Yanyeo. How terrifying is his strength! For a moment, everyone looked at the indifferent Xiao Yanyeo on the Tiandao arena in shock. Even some of the top geniuses looked down upon him. At this moment, his expression changed slightly. Emperor Taixu's body was restored by the way of heaven. 1/10 of the luck in his body was also deprived by heaven, and then submerged into Xiao Yanyeo's body. But this didn't bother him. Before leaving, he looked at Xiao Yanyeo with a solemn look. I suddenly felt a mixture of emotions in my heart, and there was a hint of complexity and emotion in my eyes. Then he completely disappeared on the Tiandao arena. Everyone became silent for a moment. They watched intently as they stood on the Tiandao arena holding the red peak spear and looking proud. Although he loves to show off, every time he says something pretentious. All were realized by him one by one. Therefore, the eyes of everyone looking at him were full of fear. In the next hour, no one dared to challenge Xiao Yanniao. Is this the so-called genius? Even I dare not challenge you. Isn't it just a vain name? I am invincible in this world. The red peak spear and the immortal shield can kill all the 9 heavenly immortal kings and still survive in this world. If you dare to challenge me, I will definitely make you irrecoverable. I, Xiao Yanniao, am invincible in this world. Who dares to suppress me? Those who don't agree with me, come and challenge me, and I will let you know what it means to be a real strong person. In front of a truly strong person, everything is just a mirror in the mirror. Wherever I, Xiao Yanniao, look, everything is like cattle and horses. At this moment, his eyes had the feeling of looking down at the world and the earth. Not only was Xiao Yanniao's flirtatious words on point, but his expression and aura were also on point. These provocative words did have the effect of irritating everyone. But they didn't forget the shot he took to defeat Emperor Taixu. No matter how angry you are, you don't dare to go up and cause trouble for him. Not to mention losing your luck, you also have to experience the feeling of death and rebirth. So within this hour, countless geniuses dare to be angry but dare not speak out. Just at this time, the final announcement of the Tiandao ranking also came. 5th place on the total list of Heavenly Dao, Xiao Yanniao, received 4 pillars of incense and Heavenly Dao initiation, 5 drops of quasi-immortal essence and blood. 3 copies of the Supreme Treasure, 3 copies of the Inheritance of Mysterious Powerful Men, 2 copies of Growth Level Magic Weapons. 2 copies of Growth Level Soft Armor, 1 copy of Growth Level Armor, 2 copies of the Great Emperor's Treasure, and one's own luck increases by 1%. Does Xiao Yanniao receive it? After the rewards are successfully received, the Tiandao Arena channel will be closed. You will not be able to challenge others or accept challenges from others. If you choose tentatively, you can continue to accept challenges. The reward for 5th place is not much richer than the other places. However, this lucky increase attracted everyone's attention. What is luck? Is it also a kind of luck? It should be, but maybe it's a little more powerful than luck, otherwise heaven wouldn't reward them as a reward. Everyone is talking about luck and guessing what it is. The ancient forces that knew what luck was were boiling over this. As a result, legends about lucky spread like wildfire across the vast world. Luck is a kind of luck, but it is more powerful than luck. Someone who is lucky will be able to escape death even when faced with a catastrophe of life and death, and even obtain a treasure as a result. Luck is similar to luck, but it goes beyond luck. It is a fixed kind. When luck is high, it may not matter, but when luck is low, the benefits of luck are reflected. Even if 2 cultivators with the same luck go hunting for treasure together, the one with the weaker luck will. The party that is far less lucky will not only get it first, but will also get other treasures as a result. Even some people with great luck were deprived of their luck, but because of their super strength and luck. Not only did he survive the catastrophe, he was also able to get a blessing in disguise and eventually became the strongest person. It is said that there are treasures in the heavens that increase luck, but it is just a legend. If there is a treasure that increases luck, I'm afraid the whole world will not be peaceful. Everyone who knows what luck is. The eyes looking at Xiao Yanniao became envious. Some even looked at him with jealous eyes, if this luck was given to them. Not to mention 1 Xiao Yanniao, they are not afraid of 10 Xiao Yanniao. At the same time, Duan Wu and Lin Fifan from Zhongtian saw this reward, and something strange flashed in their eyes. This is still the 5th place. If it were the one in front, wouldn't it be even more generous? Therefore, both of them felt that the time was ripe. In full view of everyone, Xiao Yanniao slowly said, receive the reward. For a while, everyone looked at him with shocked eyes. An unprecedentedly powerful light suddenly fell on Xiao Yanyeo's body. The initiation of the heavenly Dao of the heavens in the time of 3 sticks of incense has begun. Xiao Yanyeo closed his eyes and felt the enlightenment brought about by the initiation of the heavenly Dao. After incorporating the quasi-immortal essence and blood, his fighting power became even more terrifying. As a result, his cultivation level has been raised to the 6th level of the Supreme Lord. Then under the radiance of heaven, Xiao Yanyeo's body also disappeared on the Tiandao arena. As everyone knows, the next Tiandao ranking will be announced soon. 4th place on the list of Heavenly Dao, Xiao Yan, from the Xiao family in the southern border Tianluo region, known as the Flame Lord. For the control of flames, no one at the same level can rival him. The Tiandao arena has been opened, and anyone who questions its strength can come on stage to challenge. The moment the 4th place on the Tiandao ranking was announced, the vast world was silent for a moment. Then it boiled instantly. Xiao Yan's body also appeared on the Tiandao arena amidst the excitement of the crowd. The Xiao family in the southern Xinjiang Tianluo territory has become even more famous because of this. This time he is famous no longer because he is from the family of Xiao Wuxi, the god of war. Almost at the same time, a terrifying genius appeared on the Tiandao arena. Everyone has not yet recovered from the fact that the Xiao family is ranked among the top 4 in the list of geniuses. This genius made them excited again. Luo Yun, the 3rd top genius in Zhongtian. Except for Lin Fifan and Duan Wu, no one can suppress him. The two sides looked at each other and started fighting without any nonsense. Xiao Yan's power of fire was as terrifying as ever. Coupled with this exploration of the secret realm, his control over the power of fire has become even more refined. Facing Luo Yun's killing move, Xiao Yan only used 3 punches to blow it up. Among them, there were 2 punches that he deliberately released to comfort Luo Yun's self-esteem. Lin Fifan and Duan Wu are ranked 1st and 2nd in Zhongtian. Naturally, I can see the clues in this. Therefore, the expressions of the 2 of them became more solemn. As Luo Yun's body was being repaired by Heavenly Dao, an overseas prodigy also came on stage to challenge Xiao Yan. This person is none other than Gyun, the strongest person overseas. Not only does it have the strength of the Supreme Lord, it has also awakened the bloodline of ancient ferocious beasts, which not only has extremely strong defensive power, even the explosive power is very powerful, almost crushing all existences at the same level. However, such a terrifying opponent could not even receive a punch from Xiao Yan. Even his body was burned to ashes by the power of his flames. Fortunately, God's way can be restored and he will not die like this. In the next half hour, no one dared to challenge Xiao Yan. The 4th reward on the Tianjiao list is sent to Xiao Yan, who received 3 incense sticks of heavenly enlightenment once. 5 drops of quasi-immortal essence and blood, 5 copies of the supreme treasure, 5 copies of the inheritance of the mysterious and powerful. 2 copies of growth level magic weapons and soft armor, 2 copies of growth level armor, 2 copies of the great emperor's treasure, and your own luck will increase by 2%. Did Xiao Yan receive the reward, the Tiandao arena will be closed after the rewards are collected. You will not be able to challenge others or accept challenges from others. If you choose not to receive it temporarily, you can continue to accept challenges. Then Xiao Yan received the reward, this time in the envious eyes of everyone. With the blessing of heavenly initiation and quasi-immortal essence and blood, his cultivation realm also broke through to the 6th level of Supreme Lord. When Xiao Yan's figure disappeared from the Tiandao screen, everyone is no longer interested in the 3rd place. They can already guess who the next few geniuses are. These few are still the not-so-powerful geniuses of the Xiao family. The really powerful 3 people haven't appeared yet. This time, the top 8 on the Tiandao list belong to none other than the Xiao family. Although it was a joke, It was also true. Third place on the list of heavenly Dao, Xiao Jiangxin, a member of the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang Tianluo region, a natural swordsman. His swordsmanship is unparalleled in the world. Except for Xiao Xian, the head of the family, who is the best swordsman in ancient and modern times. No one is his opponent. Therefore he is called the King of Swords. The third Tiandao Arena Challenge has started. Anyone who questions his strength can come on stage to challenge. Note, if you fail the challenge, you will lose 1/10 of your luck. Please act within your ability. After hearing Tiandao's comments on Xiao Jiangxin, everyone fell into deep thought for a while. Being called the King of Swords by Tiandao shows how terrifying his strength is. Reminiscent of the decisiveness with which people like Xiao Yan and Xiao Yanyao chose not to challenge. Everyone has a general understanding of Xiao Jiangxin's terrifying strength. Just when they thought no one dared to challenge a strong man like Xiao Jiangxin, the prompt for the Tiandao Arena Challenge channel came. The challenger is ready and is being transferred. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 133. When the teleporter's figure appeared in front of everyone's eyes, everyone was shocked. Look, it's Duanwu. I didn't expect that he would choose to take action. I don't know who is more powerful, him or Xiao Jiangxin. Duanwu ranks second in Zhongtian, and his strength is obvious to all. Maybe he can compete with Xiao Jiangxin. It's hard to say. Xiao Jiangxin is the Sword King in Tiandao Dianping, which is enough to prove how terrifying his strength is. It's not certain who will lose and who will win. Yes, even though all members of the Tiandao list are from the Xiao family, which one of these people is easy to mess with? That's right. Not only did he hold his own in the arena, there were even people acting on it to cheat his luck. Despite this, Duanwu is not one to swallow his anger. This attack proves that the other party is still sure. Keep watching, who knows what the outcome will be until the end. Everyone was talking about the strength gap between Xiao Jiangxin and Duanwu. At this time, Duanwu had already appeared on the Tiandao arena, looking at Xiao Jiangxin, who looked calm in front of him. There was an unknown anger in Duanwu's heart. Except for Lin Fifan, he has not put anyone in his eyes. Because they are not enough to be their opponents. However, Xiao Jiangxin's expression seemed to say that he looked down on herself. How could he endure this? It's just that he was rated as the King of Swords by Tiandao. In terms of strength, I don't know who is stronger. Go down, otherwise you will die miserably, so you can save your face. Xiao Jiangxin, however, didn't take it seriously and only saw him smiling faintly. Don't you think it's too far-fetched for you, a 10th-ranked person, to say this to a 3rd-ranked person? Duanwu was not angry either, and then looked at Xiao Jiangxin calmly. Don't say you are ranked 3rd, even if you are ranked 1st, I dare to say such things to you. Xiao Jiangxin, known as the Sword King? He. Why have I never heard your name? Could it be that it is just a name with no merit? If that's the case, I'm afraid you're not even qualified to carry my shoes. Everyone gasped when they heard this. But after thinking about it again, I felt that Duanwu's words were not wrong. After all, Duanwu is a direct descendant of an ancient family. It is the 2nd-ranked existence in Zhongtian. From his debut to now, except for the number 1 Lin Fifan, he has never lost to anyone. Such a proud son could say even the most outrageous things to Xiao Jiangxin. That person also has full confidence here. Although Xiao Jiangxin was angry at Duanwu's words. But it's not intolerable. Really, what's your name? 10th, right? It's been so long since I debuted. This is the first time I have heard of your name. Is it possible that you are famous because of your family background? If that's the case, I can't even defeat a playboy who relies on my family. Wouldn't that make people laugh even more? What Xiao Jiangxin said was not wrong. Since the rise of the Xiao family, almost all sounds from the outside world are blocked out. And they are even more immersed in practice. Every day he was either in retreat or competing with Xiao Tianyuan, Xiao Yan, and the others. He doesn't even care much about his ranking on the Tiandao ranking, let alone the genius of Zhong Tian. When Duan Wu heard this, his expression suddenly darkened. Then let me show you what I relied on to become the second most talented person in Zhong Tian. Now you want to beg for mercy, it's too late. After saying that, he immediately jumped into the air. The terrifying aura on his body burst out instantly. In an instant, the sky was filled with wind and clouds, and a short dagger appeared in his hand. Behind him is an extremely terrifying void. Although he looks down on Xiao Jiangxin, since the other party can be ranked third. This proves that his strength cannot be underestimated, so Duan Wu does not dare to be cautious. All of a sudden, the heavenly Dao arena shook and the heavenly Dao barrier shattered. The power of countless powerful men swept over Xiao Jiangxin, as if they wanted to suppress him on the spot. The daggers in his hands also turned into countless shadows. Every shadow has a frightening cold light, as if to declare his fighting power. The geniuses from various regions also changed their colors when they saw this scene. Let alone accept such a terrorist attack. Even that coercion is enough to crush them to pieces. Even Lin Fifen's eyes flashed with something strange when he saw this scene. If Duan Wu had used this move to fight him, he really had to spend a lot of effort to defeat him. However, Xiao Jiangxin smiled faintly when he saw such an attack. The moves are fancy enough, but it's a pity that the strength is not enough. Everyone was stunned when they heard this. Such a terrifying move is all in vain. However, he didn't wait for them to react. The king-grade magic weapon in Xiao Jiangxin's hand has already been unsheathed. I saw a cold light flash past on the Tiandao arena. In a short time, those dagger shadows were cut through one by one. Endless sword intent filled the Tiandao arena. The immeasurable sword force swept over the sky and covered the earth. The void image behind Duan Wu was also shattered. Immediately afterwards, countless golden sword lights danced in the sky overwhelmingly. The next moment, Xiao Jiangxin's figure turned into a stream of light and merged with the sword shadow. Under everyone's extremely shocked gaze, it penetrated directly into Duan Wu's chest. No. Duan Muyafu was dumbfounded and watched in disbelief as Xiao Jiangxin penetrated his chest. Obviously he couldn't believe that Xiao Jiangxin could defeat him. He couldn't even catch Xiao Jiangxin's move. However, Xiao Jiangxin's figure slowly retracted his sword behind him. Not even the corner of his eye was given to him. Everyone who saw this showed disbelief. They never thought that Duan Wu would lose. And he still lost to Xiao Jiangxin in this way. Everyone was still immersed in the moment when Xiao Jiangxin turned into flowing light, merged with the sword shadow, and penetrated Duan Wu's chest. Apparently he couldn't calm down for a long time. They have seen various ways of fighting, but Xiao Jiangxin's scene is the first of its kind. At that moment, he seemed to be a magic weapon. This is the legendary fusion of man and sword. Lin Fifen saw Duan Wu being defeated so easily by Xiao Jiangxin. His expression suddenly became more solemn. He usually fought against Duan Wu, although they always ended in victory. But it takes his best every time. If Duan Wu used the move just now, he might not be able to take it completely. However, Xiao Jiangxin was able to turn into a sword shadow and penetrate his chest. This was something he couldn't even imagine. However, facing everyone's gaze, he still maintained his calm appearance. This scene. Even in Zhongtian, senior members of the Lin family couldn't help but look in horror after seeing this. What a powerful swordsman! He is worthy of being the swordsman rated by Tiandao himself. None of Xiao Wuxi's descendants are simple. With such terrifying strength, if it were extraordinary before, I probably wouldn't be able to take on it. Fortunately, I chose to enter that ancestral land in order to get a better ranking this time. Yes, now he has obtained the inheritance of his ancestral land and has such a great fortune. Unless the god of war, no one can defeat him. This Duan Wu may have been an excellent opponent of Fifan before, but now the two of them are no longer the same. My ancestors of the Lin family not only founded the Lin family, but were also the first in the Lin family to step into the heavens. Now Fei Fei is the second person after him, and now he has obtained his inheritance. In the future, when I step into the Queen of Heaven, our Lin family will become even more prosperous. Ha ha ha. Even the ancestors personally sent secret messages, not only highly appraising the extraordinary talent. He even asserted that as long as Fifan does not die, he will definitely become a quasi-immortal in the future. With the approval of our ancestors, we can see how powerful the extraordinary strength is. Although he can only be ranked 9th in Tiandao this time, with his strength, challenging the top spot on the list is definitely not a problem. What you said is absolutely true. If you can get the heavenly reward that ranks first on the list, the path to extraordinary cultivation will be smoother. Everyone in the Lin family is very optimistic about Lin Fifan's strength. They even felt that the number 1 position on the list was already within Lin Fifan's bag. At the same time, everyone in the vast world has been shocked by Xiao Jian's heart and can't speak for a long time. With Duan Wu in front, all the geniuses did not dare to challenge Xiao Jiangxin. Zhongtian's combat effectiveness ranks first in the vast world, even Zhongtian ranks second in Duan Wu. They were all instantly killed by Xiao Jiangxin, let alone people like them. Then 1/10 of the luck in Duan Wu's body disappeared directly into Xiao Jiangxin's body. Then his body disappeared on the Tiandao arena. Therefore, in the next half hour, no one challenged him. Reward for third place in the Heavenly Dao ranking, Xiao Jiangxin, received the Heavenly Dao initiation from 4 pillars of incense. 5 drops of quasi-immortal essence and blood, 5 copies of the Supreme Treasure, 5 copies of the Inheritance of the Mysterious and Powerful. 2 copies can be used to grow magic weapons and armor, and 2 can be used to grow soft armor. With 2 copies of the Great Emperor's Treasure, your luck will increase by 4%. Did Xiao Jiangxin receive the reward? Successful collection of rewards will close the challenge arena channel. You will not be able to challenge others or accept challenges from others. If you choose not to accept it temporarily, you can continue to accept challenges. There are no changes to the rewards and items of the third place. But the increased value of luck makes people in the entire world envious. Xiao Jiangxin answered Tiandao's inquiry without any hesitation, choose to receive it. Then the radiance of heaven belonging to the heavenly enlightenment of all heaven suddenly fell. The time for 4 sticks of incense passed quickly. A powerful force belonging to the realm of supreme dominion burst out instantly. The moment Xiao Jiangxin opened his eyes, a golden sword shadow flashed past. At this moment, everyone who looked at him felt a sense of surrender to being stared at. Later, his cultivation realm also broke through to the 6th level of the Supreme Lord. Except for Xiao Xian, no one was not frightened by his sword power. This moment, an idea appeared in everyone's mind. Jian Huang. Only the Sword Emperor can unite man and sword. Only the Sword King can make all long swords tremble and surrender to him. At this moment, people all over the vast world were excited. Sword Emperor Xiao Jiangxin. Well deserved. Xiao Jiangxin's attainments in swordsmanship are unmatched even by the god of martial arts. As long as he doesn't die, he will become a quasi-immortal in the future. After Xiao Jiangxin merged with the essence and blood of the quasi-immortal, his combat effectiveness became even more terrifying. Then he stepped out of the Tiandao arena and disappeared from the Tiandao ranking screen. Just when everyone was still immersed in the power of Xiao Jiangxin's Sword Emperor. The second place on the Tiandao ranking was also announced. Second place in the list of Heavenly Dao, Xiao Qingyun, Xiao family member of Tianluo territory in southern Xinjiang, king of southern Ming dynasty. Although she is born as a girl, she is more terrifying than a boy. Since her debut, she is also the most mysterious member of the Xiao family. Then, a cool fairy who was like a descendant of the world appeared on the Tiandao arena. I saw her tiptoes tapping, and white halos bloomed on the soles of her feet. A pressure belonging to the emperor burst out from her body. The beautiful face and the royal aura blend into one, this superb temperament. Let the eyes of people in the entire vast world see straight. Even everyone who had seen Xiao Qingyun's appearance before. I was once again conquered by her appearance and temperament. Not to mention the talented and powerful people in the vast world who have never seen Xiao Qingyun. There is only one sentence that can be described in their hearts at this moment. A clear promise at first sight leads to a lifelong mistake. It is difficult for even the heavens to find such a peerless beauty. After they saw Xiao Qingyun's ranking on the Tiandao ranking, the geniuses who were originally attracted to her suddenly felt frustrated. Xiao Jiangxin and the others were already so terrifying. Not to mention Xiao Qingyun, who is ranked second. Just when everyone thought no one would challenge Xiao Qingyun, a figure landed on the Tiandao arena. The challengers of Tiandao arena are ready. Duan Wu challenges Xiao Qingyun, the loser will lose 1/10 of his luck. Everyone was surprised when they saw this. Obviously they didn't expect Duan Wu, who had just lost to Xiao Jiangxin, will choose to challenge Xiao Qingyun in second place. If you can't even defeat Xiao Jiangxin, how can you defeat Xiao Qingyun? Duan Wu looked at Xiao Qingyun with dark eyes. You're pretty good at it? I'm afraid even heaven will give you a backdoor, right? It's a pity that no matter how beautiful she looks, she's just a pink skull on the inside. Let me tear off your skin today, so that everyone can see what you look like. Duan Wu's words revealed a strong sense of discrimination in his eyes. Even a peerless beauty like Xiao Qingyun is just a pink skeleton. For a moment, everyone who heard Duan Wu's words showed angry expressions. However, Xiao Qingyun did not show the slightest anger. Her face was cold and her eyes were indifferent. Obviously she didn't take Duan Wu seriously. When Duan Wu saw this, he felt even more disdainful. Humph, if you dare to look like this when you are about to die, I'm afraid that when you are lying under someone else, you will have another enchanting face. Then he exploded with momentum again. The dagger in his hand turned into countless shadows, surrounding Xiao Qingyun in the center. A terrifying kingly power locked it within its own area. Just when everyone in the vast world was worried about Xiao Qingyun. But everyone in southern Xinjiang looked like they were watching a good show. With such strength, do you still dare to fight against the goddess Xiao Qingyun? You are simply digging your own grave. As expected. Xiao Qingyun looked at Duan Wu with a calm expression. Then he gently tapped his finger, and it was as beautiful as a dragonfly touching water. A terrifying light burst out instantly. It crushed forward with terrifying pressure. In an instant, the entire Tiandao arena shook violently. Fragments of the heavenly barrier are also falling from the sky. Even if the way of heaven is constantly maintaining, it still cannot keep up with the destructive power brought by Xiao Qingyun's finger. Then this finger broke through Mu's ultimate move. It penetrated Duan Mu directly, but it did not directly destroy him. Instead, Duan Mu lost his rights as a man. Then the ray of light penetrated Duan Mu's chest directly. In an instant, his body turned into a blood mist that filled the sky. And these blood mist also stopped moving forward 3 meters away from Xiao Qingyun. Everyone gasped when they saw this. With just one finger, Duan Wu was turned into blood mist. Thinking of the scene when he shattered into a bloody mist. Everyone in the vast world felt a sense of suffocation. Then in the astonished eyes of everyone, Duan Wu's body was condensed again. Immediately afterwards, 1/10 of his luck did not enter Xiao Qingyun's body. And the way everyone looked at Duanwu gradually became strange. In the following time, no one dared to challenge Xiao Qingyun. Even if there were, that person would not look down on the second ranking. After all, Lin Fifen's goal this time is to be number 1 on the list. Rewards for second place in the Heavenly Dao ranking: Xiao Qingyun, get 5 drops of quasi-immortal blood essence. 4 pillars of incense, heavenly enlightenment, 5 supreme treasures, 5 inheritances of mysterious and powerful people. 2 copies of growth level magic weapons and armor, 2 copies of growth level soft armor, 2 copies of the Great Emperor's treasure, and your own luck will increase by 6%. Did Xiao Qingyun receive the reward? If the reward is successfully collected, the Tiandao Arena Challenge channel will be closed. You will not be able to challenge others or be challenged by others. If you choose to wait, you can continue to accept challenges. Xiao Qingyun's eyes were cold and his voice was clear and graceful. Receive it. Then the light of the heavenly initiation fell on Xiao Qingyun. After the time of 4 pillars of incense, Xiao Qingyun's cultivation level also broke through to the 6th level of the Supreme Lord. The moment she opened her eyes, the royal aura on his body is even more terrifying. While receiving the Tiandao initiation, Xiao Qingyun felt that it was time for the Nanming dynasty to advance. This time, she not only wanted the Nanming dynasty to advance to become the Nanming divine dynasty, but she also wanted to take advantage of this opportunity. Raise your cultivation level to a greater level. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 134. Number 1 on the list of Heavenly Dao, Xiao Tianyuan, from the Xiao family of southern border Tianluo domain, ranked first among the 36 talents of southern border. It is the existence of the desolate king, which is unique in all time. Even at that time, the quasi-immortal suppressed his cultivation and fought against him. You can't completely defeat him, his strength is immeasurable. The Tiandao ranking challenger arena has been opened, and any doubters can come and challenge. Everyone saw that Tiandao had such a high opinion of Xiao Tianyuan. He suddenly gasped. King Huang. Unparalleled in history. Even if the current quasi-immortal suppresses his cultivation, he may not be able to completely defeat him. This kind of evaluation is really too scary. Quasi-immortal in this world. That is a living quasi-immortal. It's a huge difference from reincarnation or even reincarnation. Such an evaluation is the only example since the Tiandao ranking was launched. This shows how terrifying its strength is. For a moment, everyone was in shock. They stared intently at the Tiandao screen. I want to see who will challenge such a terrifying existence. You won't know if you don't look at it, but you will be shocked when you look at it. The light beam obtained there actually turned into purple gold. It gives people the oppressive feeling of an emperor descending from the sky. Under the purple gold beam, Xiao Tianyun's figure appeared on the Tiandao arena. Different from Xiao Jiangxin's natural sword energy, which is raging. As well as Xiao Qingyun's own terrifying emperor aura. Xiao Tianyun is like an ordinary person. But just such an ordinary person gave them an unprecedented sense of suffocation. He closed his eyes and stood quietly on the Tiandao arena, waiting for his opponent to challenge him. Everyone who has read the evaluation of Xiao Tianyun in the Tiandao ranking. At this moment, no one dared to act rashly, even the existence of the god of war was scrupulous. Someone who can be evaluated like this by heaven. He is the first, and no one knows how terrifying his strength is. But one thing they are sure of. None of the geniuses of the Xiao family are easy to mess with. Xiao Zhangtian, who was ranked 8th in front, was already terrifying to the point of making people feel frightened. Not to mention the geniuses like Xiao Jiangxin, Xiao Yan, Xiao Qingyun, and Jamal Xiao who appeared later. Which one is not a formidable presence? Especially Xiao Jiangxin's sword and shadow unity, and Xiao Qingyun's finger on the quicksand. They still can't let go. But Xiao Tianyun was the one who could suppress them. No one knows how terrifying such strength is. Therefore, since Xiao Tianyun appeared on the Tiandao arena, everyone fell into a state of silence. Finally, he slowly looked at Lin Fifan, who was ranked 9th. At this moment, a powerful momentum rushed towards him. Everyone just felt a sense of fear. Even many top experts couldn't help but change their expressions after feeling this scene. Lin Fifan's strength is even more terrifying than before. At this time, Lin Fifan crossed his arms across his chest and slowly opened his eyes. Look at Xiao Tianyun on the Tiandao arena. Under everyone's extremely expectant eyes, he spoke out. I want to challenge Xiao Tianyun. For a while, the whole vast world is boiling. Is Lin Fifan finally going to take action? Lin Fifan is not only the most talented person in Zhongtian. He is also the top genius in the eyes of all major regions in the entire vast world. At this moment, they are the genius in their hearts. We are about to duel with the number 1 genius appointed by the Tiandao ranking. This feeling of excitement is beyond words. Also at this time, the prompts from the Tiandao ranking also followed. Tiandao Challenge Arena is open, the challenger is ready, the loser will lose 1/10 of his luck. Almost at the same time, Lin Fifan's figure appeared on the Tiandao arena. Everyone calmly looked at the picture of Heavenly Dao. The scene was tense for them. However, Xiao Tianyun did not raise his eyes, and crossed his arms across his chest, as if he did not take Lin Fifan seriously. Everyone was surprised when they saw this. Xiao Tianyun is a bit too arrogant. Lin Fifan is the number 1 genius in Zhongtian. Everyone in the entire boundless world knows how terrifying its strength is. Lin Fifan, who was opposite, was not angry when he saw this. He still looked at Xiao Tianyun with a calm expression. I, Lin Fifan, came here specially to discuss with the number 1 on the Tiandao ranking. That's plain to say. But Lin Fifan was extremely cautious. Because of the terrifying aura exuding from Xiao Tianyun. Even he felt oppressed. Therefore, he did not dare to underestimate the other party. But the other party's attitude was still the same as at the beginning, as if he had not heard of him. Lin Fifan didn't talk nonsense either. Directly launch an attack on Xiao Tianyun. If you want the other party to respect you, you must show your due strength. All of a sudden, a terrifying immortal power erupted behind him. A zodiac sign that frightened everyone appeared behind him. With the blessing of this immortal power, the giant Dharma image becomes more and more terrifying. When everyone saw this scene, they were immediately frightened. What a powerful Dharma image! This is the awakening of the immortal bloodline. It is indeed a terrifying existence for the common people. When the ancestors of the Lin family entered the heavens, they were exposed to the blood of immortal, and there is a high probability that their descendants will appear. Looking at it like this, Lin Fifan is that one-of-a-kind being. No wonder his aura is so terrifying. This Duanwu will become his defeated general, which is not a loss. I wonder what chance Xiao Tianyun has of winning against Lin Fifan. For a time, everyone in the vast world was talking about Lin Fifan's awakening of the immortal bloodline. Even Duanwu showed a bit of fear at this moment. It's no wonder that no matter how he chases, he is always a little behind Lin Fifan. This is the fundamental difference between them. Even Xiao Xian felt a little emotional when he saw this. With Lin's extraordinary qualifications, it was inevitable to conquer the vast world. But that was before he came to this world. Today's Lin Fifan is even a little more powerful than he is now. He can't surpass the Xiao family's genius. After all, it's just their foil. At this time, above the sky, Lin Fifan had already unleashed his terrifying momentum and launched an attack. I saw a spear with terrifying power piercing the sky. He waved directly towards Xiao Tianyun's face. Strength breaks the sky. The spear tore through the void and shattered the barrier of heaven. Even the space becomes distorted and deformed, and there is a feeling of being punctured at any time. Such a terrifying move gave everyone a sense of oppression. This momentum alone can make them feel suffocated. It was as if all the blood in his body was flowing backwards at this moment. At this moment, everyone looked at Xiao Tianyuan calmly. How would he resist such a terrifying attack? Can he withstand it? At that moment everyone was paying close attention. Lin Fifen's shot had already pierced Xiao Tianyuan's life gate. It was just a little bit close and it would penetrate his body. Everyone's heartbeat stopped at this moment. They looked at Xiao Tianyuan in great shock. Could it be that the other party didn't even have the ability to fight back? At this moment, everyone in the vast world did not even dare to express their anger, and suddenly became silent. At this time, Xiao Tianyuan opened his eyes. A terrifying aura burst out from his eyes instantly. The spear's attack seemed to be blocked by a barrier. Unable to move forward at all. At this time, a terrifying momentum burst out from Xiao Tianyuan instantly. At that moment, the immortal bones on his body also burst out with an aura of victory. An invisible coercion turned into reality and swept away in all directions. At that moment, the sky shook, everything changed color, and thunder rolled across the sky. Countless purple gold colors flashed with thunder. The moment Lin Fifen met Xiao Tianyuan's eyes, I just felt that my soul was locked by an eternal giant. However, he could only bite the bullet and go up to fight. Don't wait for him to continue his attack. Xiao Tianyuan's momentum burst out again. This time, his momentum was filled with the aura of endless desolation. An unparalleled wave of terror that would make even a quasi-immortal feel ashamed gathered at this moment. Thunder rolled, the sky shattered, and the heavenly barrier continued to fall into pieces. The boundless air waves turned into invisible attacks. Kill Lin Fifen directly. In countless people's shocked, surprised, and stunned expressions. All those killing moves disappeared into Lin Fifen's body. All of a sudden, the world became silent. On the Tiandao arena, only a piece of blood mist was seen flying. At this moment, the rolling thunder disappeared, and the broken void barrier was repaired by the way of heaven. Everyone's expressions also became frightened. Xiao Tianyuan didn't even make a move. Kill Lin Fifen on the spot. Not even a scrap of corpse was left behind. His strength is so terrifying. People in the entire vast world looked at Xiao Tianyuan with timid expressions. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. In the sky, the patriarch of the Lin family saw the scene in disbelief. He couldn't accept that Lin Fifen, who had awakened his immortal bloodline, would be defeated by Xiao Tianyuan. And the other party actually has immortal bones. How could he have immortal bones? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. The Lin family is the inheritor of the true dragon with immortal blood. How could he lose to the Xiao family? The Xiao family is just a family from a small county town, how could they awaken their immortal bones? For a while, the unstoppable riot in him seemed to destroy everything. It's not just him. Even everyone in the vast world can't believe it. That is the legendary genius of Zhongtian. He couldn't even catch one of Xiao Tianyuan's moves. In the extremely shocked eyes of everyone, Lin Fifen's body was slowly condensed by the way of heaven. Then a dark yellow golden light flowed out from his body. That was the color of luck that belonged to Lin Fifen. Xiao Tianyuan, who received Lin Fifen's luck, did not change his mood. From beginning to end, he had that indifferent look on his face. The moment Lin Fifen was taken out by the Tiandao portal, he stared at Xiao Tianyuan with deep eyes. It seemed that he wanted to keep him in mind. Xiao Tianyuan continued to close his eyes. He stood calmly on the Tiandao arena with his hands folded across his chest, waiting for the next opponent to challenge him. However, half an hour passed. There was still no movement on the Tiandao arena. Immediately afterwards, Tiandao's prompt sounded. Reward for the first place in the Heavenly Dao ranking, Xiao Tianyuan, who received 8 drops of quasi-immortal blood essence and 6 sticks of incense to receive the Heavenly Dao initiation. 6 copies of growth level magic weapons and armor, 6 copies of growth level soft armor, and 4 copies of supreme treasures. With 4 copies of the Great Emperor's treasure, your luck will increase by 10%. Whether Xiao Tianyuan has received this reward, the reward has been successfully distributed and the Hushan Dao Arena Challenge channel has been closed. You will not be able to accept the challenge or challenge others. If you choose not to receive it temporarily, you can continue to challenge. After everyone saw this scene, they were stunned and stunned. The top spot deserves to be the top spot. This reward is doubled directly. The most enviable thing is the 10% luck value. Then Xiao Tianyuan spoke with everyone's extremely envious eyes, get it? Then the light of the Heavenly Dao initiation fell directly on Xiao Tianyuan. Endless momentum continued to rage on him. He didn't stop until his cultivation reached the 8th level of the Supreme Lord. Slowly open your eyes. Xiao Tianyuan clenched his fists, and a powerful energy condensed in his palms. I don't know how far my abilities are compared to Uncle Xian's. Rather than comparing with the quasi-immortal, he wanted to surpass Xiao Xian more. In his mind, Xiao Xian was the invincible existence. Although Xiao Tianyuan has won the top spot, the Tiandao ranking has not officially ended yet. Lin Fifan and Duanwu initially chose TBD. Therefore, the two can continue to accept challenges from others. Everyone in the vast world turned their attention to the two of them. Although Lin Fifan was defeated by Xiao Tianyuan, but his strength is still very strong, and it is extremely difficult for them to defeat him. Not to mention knocking Lin Fifan off the ring. But the other person wasn't sure. Duanwu challenged the Xiao family's children twice and lost 20% of his luck. Even now he wants to work hard to stabilize his position as the champion. There is already more than enough ambition but not enough energy. Therefore, when the Zhongtian strongman came to challenge him later, he had already tried his best. However, this does not mean that he is worry-free. At this time, Bai Ziliu, ranked 4th in Zhongtian, came on the stage. Everyone was shocked when they saw this. Bai Ziliu's strength has improved a lot since the last Tianjiao ranking competition. In addition, the other party was also favored by the martial god Xiao Wuxi. With the other party's personal guidance, it can be seen that his strength is extraordinary. Therefore, even Duanwu showed a solemn expression the moment he saw Bai Ziliu. However, no matter how hard he tried his best, he was still no match for Bai Ziliu. In the end, he was defeated by Bai Ziliu's Xingganyu fist. And Bai Ziliu also stabilized his position in the top 10 after defeating several challengers in the top 10 of Zhongtian. Therefore, the Tiandao general ranking was officially determined. After Bai Ziliu received the reward from the heavens, his cultivation realm broke through to the 4th level of the Supreme Master. The Tiandao general ranking has officially come to an end. Then the reminder of the Tiandao ranking appeared in front of everyone again. The Tiandao general ranking has officially come to a perfect conclusion, and 1 year later the ranking of the top 10 forces will be opened. In addition to item rewards, all forces on the list will also receive family luck bonuses. The person ranked 10th will receive a 10% luck bonus, and the person ranked 1st will receive a 10-fold luck bonus. When everyone saw this, there was an uproar. The remaining power of the Tiandao ranking has not ended yet, and a new round of competition has once again caused a storm among the people. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 135. The strongest force is determined based on the combination of the family's highest combat power, overall luck, and the quantity and quality of geniuses within the family. It has nothing to do with the time and place when the family was established, and the family building area. When everyone saw the rules announced by the Tiandao ranking, there was an uproar. Many aristocratic families even felt nervous. In this list of the top 10 forces, my demon clan must have a place. My ancient Leun family will definitely win the top 5 of the 10 major forces. Isn't this time's ranking of the top 10 forces tailor-made for the ancient aristocratic families in Zhongtian? As a veteran clan in Zhongtian, and with the inheritance of immortal blood, the top 10 forces will definitely be among the top 3. The ancient aristocratic families in Zhongtian, the Guanglin family, the Duanmu family, and the Liun family are enough to shake the top 3, let alone the other ancient aristocratic families. As the leader of the Kangmang clan, with my strength, I will definitely be able to bring the clan to one of the top 10 forces. For a time, countless ancient families and clans had full confidence in themselves. I don't know if the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang can be on the list. At this time, someone in the crowd spoke in confusion. It attracted a lot of people's attention for a while. After all, the Xiao family has always been the object of everyone's attention since its rise to the present. Not to mention that this time, the top 8 spots on the Tiandao list are all occupied by the Xiao family. Everyone paid more attention to him than before. Although the genius of the Xiao family is terrifyingly powerful, when it comes to family power, the Xiao family is still close. Yes, the Xiao family's only martial god also chose to enter the heavens, and their only chance was wiped out. Which of the old clans and families in the vast world does not have a martial god sitting in charge? Unless a martial god appears in the Xiao family now. Otherwise, the Xiao family will have no chance of ranking among the top 10 forces. But if the martial god can break through so easily, there won't be so few martial gods in the vast world. In the midst of everyone's discussion, the Xiao family's qualification to be ranked among the top 10 powers was thus eliminated. The Xiao family in the Tianluo territory of southern Xinjiang. Xiao Xian looked at the final announcement of the Tiandao ranking and the criteria for selecting the top 10 power rankings. There was a light in his eyes. Now the 8 geniuses have obtained their respective opportunities in the Tiandao general ranking. The luck of the Xiao family has also undergone tremendous changes. The ranking of the top 10 forces at this time actually made him a little interested. Return to the room. The mechanical sound of the system rang in my ears. Ding, Xiao Zhangtian won the 8th place in the Heavenly Dao ranking, and the host received 800 years of mana feedback, and exchanged it for 50,000 points. Xiao Jiamian won the 7th place in the Heavenly Dao ranking, and the host received 800 years of mana feedback, and exchanged it for 50,000 points. Xiao Junlin won the ranking of Heavenly Dao. Xiao Jiangxin won the 3rd place in the Heavenly Dao ranking, and the host received 1,000 years of mana feedback, which can be exchanged for 100,000 points. Xiao Qingyuan won 2nd place in the Heavenly Dao ranking, and the host received 1,500 years of mana feedback, and exchanged points for 200,000. Xiao Tianyuan won the 1st place in the Heavenly Dao ranking, the host received 3,000 years of mana feedback, and exchanged 300,000 points. Because there are too many geniuses in the family in the general list of heaven in the vast world. There is no god of war in the family, and the family's luck will be greatly lost. Please host, please seize the time to break through the martial god. Only in this way can the family's fate be suppressed. Seeing this, Xiao Xian's face showed a somewhat solemn look. Although he is only one step away from the god of war. But one step away is a huge gap. How many people are stuck on this gap, unable to move forward even half a step? Therefore, Xiao Xian did not dare to delay at all, and directly exchanged the exchange point for a martial god pill. This will help him break through to the realm of the god of war, and as his family's luck increases. The competition that the family needs to face is also getting bigger and bigger. Only by breaking through the martial god can he stabilize the family in the vast world. Therefore, after leaving the system, Xiao Xian entered into seclusion and practice. Everyone in the Xiao family also entered into their own cultivation after feeling the change in their family's destiny. At the same time, in a cave 100,000 kilometers away from the Xiao family, several powerful figures belonging to the Supreme Lord burst out. Damn! It's announced at this time. Not only has the overall strength of the Xiao family become stronger because of this, there are even 8 Supreme Masters, the great Emperor Tian Xiao. If we add Xiao Xian, there will be 9 Supreme Masters in total. Our plan will be constrained by this. It seems that our previous plan must be changed. After hearing this man's words, the other Supreme Masters and powerful men also fell into deep thought. Suddenly a strong man with a fat head and big ears and green eyes said, "Alas, no matter how difficult it is, we must rescue the Holy Sun." Everyone nodded when they heard this. A strong man in red robes with a bit of effeminate temperament said, "The damn Xiao family dared to arrest the Holy Son of our demon sect and even imprison him in the demon locking tower. That's the pure blood demon from our blood knife sect. The Xiao family can actually do it." This person's words made everyone suddenly become even more angry. The blood knife sect was a demon sect in ancient times. Not only are they not afraid of the major ancient forces, they are even able to do so in places like Tianzhou. Develop your own power for nearly 1,000 years. However, after the rise of the Xiao family, a martial god appeared. Not only did it destroy all their years of hard work, but they were even almost wiped out by them. Fortunately, Xiao Wuxi chose to enter the world of heavens. The only person in the Xiao family who is truly worthy of their fear is Xiao Wuxi. Without Xiao Wuxi in charge, the Xiao family has nothing to fear at all. So after they left Xiao Wuxi, they also sent people to southern Xinjiang to start exploring, but no matter what they sent, they were middle-level personnel. Even high-level personnel, all have been lost in southern Xinjiang. Therefore, their holy son had to appear in southern Xinjiang in person. But after this time, there was no trace of the holy son. After many inquiries, they found the specific location of the holy son. He was actually locked up in the demon locking tower by the Xiao family. Damn the Xiao family! Without Xiao Wuxi in charge, he still dared to provoke their blood knife sect. It's simply asking for death. But just when they were ready to take action, the Tiandao list is released at this time. The Xiao family dominates the top 8. Seeing this, the blood knife sect's originally very arrogance suddenly disappeared. Although the cultivation level of several geniuses of the Xiao family is not as high as theirs, but the other party has the inheritance of a mysterious and powerful man, as well as the supreme treasure. They are unwilling to provoke such an existence without absolute certainty. But this time things are different. The Xiao family is imprisoning the holy son of their demon clan. Therefore, they can only stick together and find another way. At this time, a man in black robes took out a crystal ball. There was thick black mist inside the crystal ball. The next moment, there was a powerful man who looked like dry firewood. Instantly, the crystal ball of flowing black mist appeared in front of everyone. When everyone saw this, they hurriedly knelt on the ground. I've seen the leader. This person is the leader of the Blood Knife sect. It was also because of him that the Blood Knife sect was able to secure its position in the vast world. The Dry Bones martial god is also one of the pinnacle forces in the vast world. He once fought against the 4 great forces in Zhongtian on his own, and hit them hard. It was also because of his appearance that the Blood Knife sect was able to stabilize from its original position to its current position. So they even engage in things like offering sacrifices. As long as it is not particularly excessive, the ancient families in the vast world will choose to turn a blind eye. After all, it would not be good for them to provoke the Blood Knife sect. A bunch of trash. You can't even handle this little thing. Why did the Blood Knife sect support you for so long? The scolding of the withered bone martial god made several strong men look bitter. If possible, they would like to complete it quickly. But the other party is the Xiao family who has a martial god? Even the ancient family in Zhongtian dare not touch him easily. The Dry Bones martial god naturally knew that this incident could not be entirely blamed on them. After all, the Xiao family is not someone to be trifled with. That's all. How about the matter I asked you to negotiate with the Xiao family? Are the Xiao family willing to let him go? The expression of another core elder changed, and his expression also became a little shrinking. Then the Xiao family is unwilling to let him go. Not only that, they even sent the people we sent to negotiate. They are all locked up in the demon locking tower, let alone releasing our holy son. When the Dry Bones martial god heard this, he became furious. What a Xiao family, but they are not even willing to give this little face. The terrifying aura that erupted from the withered bone martial god was even just a phantom. It also made all the supreme masters and powerful men present look fearful. Then the Dry Bones martial god looked at the core elders. The holy son is the demon son of the demon clan. We must rescue him. Now I have made contact with the higher UPS of the demon clan. And you have obtained several treasures. When the time comes, you will take these treasures to the demon locking tower. The holy son must be rescued. Just give these to the son. Then he handed those treasures to one of the core elders. When everyone saw this, their hearts became even more bitter. Leader, the Xiao family demon locking tower is too powerful, and there are several supreme masters sitting there. The few of us were afraid that we would be discovered before we even entered. If we faced any of them, I'm afraid that a few of me combined can't defeat him. What's more, there is Xiao Xian. Although Xiao Xian rarely takes action, every time he takes action, he shocks the world. A few of us will go there, I'm afraid. The withered bone martial god heard this and shouted angrily, a bunch of useless trash. The leader of the lost leader promoted you all single-handedly. Now I can't even do this little thing. Simply a loser. Several core elders immediately lowered their heads when they heard this. In this case, who would be willing to make fun of his own life? Even if you don't train them, they may not work hard for you. The Dry Bones martial god looked at them coldly. Then each of several people was given a pill. This is the hidden breath pill. If you take this pill, you can hide your breath and cultivation. Even the powerful and powerful at the level of God King cannot find your traces. Everyone was overjoyed when they heard this. With this elixir, we have hope of rescuing the Holy Son. Yes, Master, we will definitely rescue the Holy Son. With this elixir, we can rescue the Holy Son without going through the Xiao family. Seeing this, the Dry Bones martial god smiled. If you complete it beautifully this time, the people above will reward you heavily. When everyone heard this, they were even more delighted. With the words of the withered bone martial god, plus the pill that can hide the breath cultivation, they are naturally very willing to work hard. On the evening of the second day, several people arrived not far from the Xiao family's residence. At this time, Roaring Sky Dog was chewing the bones in his dog bowl at the gate of Xiao's house. This is the freshly baked demon bone today, and it tastes pretty good. Suddenly he smelled the scent of demons in the air. He stood up with a wary look on his face and looked somewhere in the sky with his teeth bared. This scene made those few people jump with fear. Is this dead dog aware of our presence? Yes, it shouldn't be the case. Even the King of Gods can't detect the pills we take. This dead dog is just in the realm of the Supreme Lord, and it is impossible to discover our existence. Although the elders said this, their legs were still trembling. At this moment, Roaring Sky Dog was ready to attack. Suddenly, as if he heard something, he returned to his position and gnawed on the bones. The elders also breathed a sigh of relief. It should buy and discover us, right? One of the elders spoke uncertainly. I definitely didn't notice it. Didn't you see that he just bit the mosquito in the air? What's more, even the King of Gods can't find the pills on us, so hurry up and get in. That's right, hurry up. After saying that, everyone hurried towards the Xiao family demon locking tower. When they all went in, they found that the roaring dog didn't make any movement. A few people were completely relieved. Then several people rushed non-stop towards the back hill of the Xiao family and the direction of the demon locking tower. This also caused them to miss the smile on Roaring Sky Dog's face. Are they really going to the demon locking tower? Xiao Jiangxing crossed his arms over his chest, obviously not believing that there really were such stupid demons. You'll know if you keep watching. Xiao Tianyuan looked at the cautious backs of those people with a half smile. Then if you go in, you won't be able to get out. Xiao Jiangxin even felt a trace of pity. There are many monsters in the demon locking tower. Even if the God King enters, it is impossible for him to escape intact. What's more, there is a ferocious beast Kyanki sitting in charge. They went in just to deliver food to Kyanki. Xiao Tianyuan smiled indifferently, but this is also their own choice. After all, it's not good to offend anyone but Kyanki. Xiao Jiangxin nodded. He had seen stupid people before, but never such stupid people. Even now, Kyanki can't guarantee that they can win. Not to mention these little demon cultivators. But that's strange to say. Where did the head of the family, Xiao Xian, get so many strange and terrifying beasts? The elders of the demon cultivators who came to the demon locking tower also noticed something was wrong. Everyone, have we been discovered? When we came in just now, the flaming biffin bird and the red crow glanced at us. You shouldn't. If you found out, wouldn't you come up and fight us to the death? What's more, there is no movement at all from the Xiao family, which means our whereabouts have not been discovered. Let's find the Holy Sun quickly and give him the blood essence. Yes, when the Holy Sun's strength breaks through, even if Xiao Xian appears, we don't have to be afraid. You're right, let's fight quickly. Everyone quickly walked towards the inside of the demon locking tower. As soon as I arrived at the door, I saw a ferocious beast with monstrous momentum. At this moment, he is crawling at the door of the demon locking tower. Several people were shocked and even couldn't help but swallow their saliva. What a powerful beast! Isn't it aware of our presence? Probably not. If I found out, how could I still sleep so soundly? Yes, yes. I definitely didn't find it. Then everyone headed towards the demon locking tower. When passing by Kyanki, some people couldn't help but feel weak in their legs. He almost fell on Kyanki's body. And the latter's snoring frightened him so much that he hurried inside. After discovering that Kyanki did not sense their existence, a few people breathed a sigh of relief, feeling like they were surviving a disaster. At the same time, he was also feeling in his heart how powerful this elixir for concealing aura cultivation was. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 136. Several people had just stepped into the demon locking tower. Kyanki behind him opened his eyes and then flicked his tail. He seemed dissatisfied with the behavior of the man who almost fell on him. Several demon cultivator elders have just stepped into the demon locking tower. He was shocked by the powerful momentum coming towards him. At the same time, there was a hint of solemnity on their faces. Everyone, why do I feel that the momentum here makes me feel like I am being oppressed by the God King? Me too, it's as if my soul has been locked by a powerful person. This demon locking tower is really terrifying. Even the Holy Sun can be locked inside. No, this demon locking tower isn't that powerful either. It must be a treasure in our hands. It plays a role in this demon locking tower. That's why we feel like this. That's right, let's quickly hand over the treasure to the Holy Sun. This way we have completed our mission. After saying that, everyone continued to walk deeper. But the level of trembling in their bodies and the pressure of psychological maturity. It also became more and more frightening as it went deeper. Especially when they saw those ancient ferocious beasts being imprisoned here. What little faith everyone had left collapsed. This. It turns out to be a giant shark from the deep sea. This is an ancient beast that can fight the god of war. I didn't expect it to be imprisoned in the demon locking tower. This demon locking tower is too scary. It used to be a fearful existence in the vast world, and it would not hesitate to kill the people of a country in order to practice magic. Not only that, when it broke through to the realm of supreme dominion in the later stage, it even sacrificed a girl from the town. Even ancient families and forces from ancient times would choose to take a detour when they see it. Our deputy leader wanted him to join the Blood Knife sect at the beginning, but he didn't expect it to be imprisoned in the Tooth Lock Tower. This giant deep-sea shark can also devour strong men of the same level, so everyone who sees him also avoids it. But it is so quiet and stable when it is imprisoned in the demon locking tower. No, it is controlled by the restrictions in the demon locking tower. Not only that, there are certain restrictions in front of their prisons. We'd better not touch them. I didn't expect that the existence that was so terrifying at the beginning would actually fall to this level. Look, it turns out to be the sky-swallowing demonic rat. One of the top 10 ancient ferocious beasts. When it was born, it swallowed up a town with 1 million people overnight. And later on, they swallowed up a 1,000-year-old clan. It can be said that the people were in dire straits in those years. Many ancient families joined forces and failed to subdue it. Unexpectedly, it was also imprisoned in the Locktooth Tower. Everyone must be careful. Once we hit the restriction, we will be dead. Several demon cultivators became more cautious as a result. When they walked up to the second floor, they also discovered the elders of their own clan. Learning from their mouths that several elders had been lost, they felt extremely sad. But they did not dare to easily touch the restrictions in the demon locking tower, so they could only continue walking deeper. Finally, on the third floor, several people saw the Holy Sun imprisoned inside. The man had red hair and black robes, and his appearance was so strange that it was beyond words. When he raised his eyes, he felt a breathtaking feeling. Sun. Several people hurriedly ran forward with joy and then saluted him. You actually found this place. The Holy Son of the monster race slowly turned around. He was obviously a young man, but his voice was that of an old man. And this voice has the ability to break through the soul. Fortunately, the elders of the demon cultivators were quite strong and did not feel any shock caused by this power. Everyone wanted to continue moving forward, but when they thought of the restrictions in the demon locking tower, they took back their steps. The Holy Son of the demon clan knew the cause and effect of the matter when he saw the expressions of several people. It seems that the treasure given to you from above has worked, otherwise you wouldn't be able to come here. The prohibition here is only for this Holy Son, to prevent this Holy Son from escaping, and has no impact on you. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief when they heard this, and then hurried forward and gave him a big salute. Seeing this, the Holy Son of the demon clan just nodded lightly. This Xiao family is really weird. I thought that the strength of this Holy Son would be able to run rampant here. Who would have thought that Jamal Xiao of the Xiao family could control the power of thunder, and even use this weird technique? Suppress the realm of cultivation of this Holy Son, and then this Holy Son will be captured by him. In the eyes of the Holy Son of Blood Knife sect, the reason why Jamal Xiao was able to capture him was because of this weird technique. Otherwise, with his ability, he would definitely be able to kill Jamal Xiao. But Xiao Jiangxin and Xiao Tianyuan, who were watching all this from the demon locking tower, showed disdain. When Jamal Xiao captured him, he had not yet broken through to the Supreme Lord. I thought that with the strength of the Holy Sun, I could have a happy fight with Jamal Xiao. At that time, they were all very envious of Jamal Xiao. The results of it? The opponent couldn't even catch Jamal Xiao's 3 hammers, and was knocked unconscious. Even the protective soft armor on his body was burned to dregs by Jamal Xiao's lightning. Then he was thrown directly into the demon locking tower by Jamal Xiao like a dead dog. With such fighting power, he actually dared to say that Jamal Xiao won by suppressing him with weird techniques. It's really shameless to the extreme. At first, it was because Jamal Xiao ended it too quickly and didn't even cause any disturbance to the outside world. Why did it taste so bad in this guy's mouth? The Holy Sun is indeed invincible in the world. So what if Jamal Xiao is ranked 7th in the Tiandao rankings? Our Holy Sun is just reluctant to lose. If the Holy Sun had not been imprisoned in the demon locking tower, we still don't know if Jamal Xiao's name is on the heavenly Dao list. That's right, the Holy Sun's strength is astonishing to our demon clan. When the Holy Sun goes out, Jamal Xiao will die. The demon cultivators who didn't understand why didn't hesitate to shoot a series of rainbow farts. The whole demon clan Saint Sun was also very embarrassed. After all, he failed because he really lost to Jamal Xiao. Therefore, at this moment, he was very lucky that he was locked up in the demon locking tower. Otherwise, I really don't know how to lie to Yuan. But fortunately, he has a thick skin and can accept it calmly as long as it is not exposed. Since you can appear here, it means that the people above have given you things, right? The leader of the demon cultivator elder gave all the treasures given to him by the withered bone martial god to the holy son of the demon clan. The holy son of the demon race took the treasure and was immediately overjoyed. It's my father's blood essence. There's also active demon blood. A complete set of armor and magic weapons. With these treasures, my strength can instantly break through to the realm of the god of war. It won't be a problem to rush out from here then. The vast world, the vast continent, and the unparalleled genius are all no match for this holy sun. Jamal Xiao, no matter how good you are at thunder and lightning, you still have to die in the palm of my hand. Although both essence blood and demon blood can help cultivators improve their cultivation level. But it is active. Active essence and blood can help people build their physiques and even awaken their spiritual bodies. It was just like the Thunder Emperor's essence and blood that Jamal Xiao had encountered. The active demon blood in the hands of the holy son of the demon race has such functions. But essence and blood cannot. How much you can comprehend depends entirely on your individual talent and comprehension ability. Everything else can only be converted into mana. And active blood and essence are very rare. Therefore, when several demon cultivator elders heard what the Holy Sun said, they all showed envious expressions. At this time, the leader of the demon cultivator asked the demon saint, "Holy Sun, we came all the way and found the monsters and demon cultivators imprisoned here. Their cultivation realm has been taken away, why haven't you changed at all?" Hearing this, the demon saint's son suddenly became extremely angry. If it weren't for the unusual treasure left by my father, I wouldn't be much better than them. But even with the protection of the exotic treasure, I was still affected by the demon locking tower. If you were a step too late. I want to follow in their footsteps. Fortunately, you came in time. After I get out of here, the Xiao family must be killed to pieces. Let them know the consequences of imprisoning this holy sun. He didn't talk nonsense after that. The blood essence and active demonic blood were directly absorbed, and then the two treasures were slowly integrated into his body. All of a sudden, the cultivation realm of the demon clan's holy son also directly broke through to the martial god. The aura in him couldn't help but riot at this moment. The powerful power belonging to the god of war instantly broke through the restrictions, causing a layer of dust to fall from the prison. Soon the drop of essence and blood was converted into mana, and the residual power of the demon blood was also converted into 9,000 years of mana. 9,000 years of magic power is a god-level existence in the heavens. If it breaks through to 10,000 years, it will be possible to become a god-king existence. Moreover, the difference between the martial god and the martial god is in mana. The stronger the magic power, the stronger the martial god is. Although the three martial gods in the Vientiane heavenly palace were already at the level of martial gods, but because of insufficient mana, he couldn't even defeat Xiao Wushi's shadow. The spiritual energy in today's vast world is thin, and I want to accumulate mana for so many years. It is tantamount to ascending to the sky, let alone accumulating 10,000 years of mana that can set foot on the ancient river in the starry sky. Although the vast world has existed for thousands of years, but since Emperor Taixu, no one has appeared. Not to mention the existence of evil and powerful people like Xiao Wushi. Although the spiritual energy has been revived in the past few years, the god of war wants to accumulate the magic power to set foot in the heavens at this time. It is still very difficult, but there are also many martial gods who have broken through to 1,000 years of mana. The momentum of the demon saint's sun couldn't help but explode at this moment. The demon's pupils also showed a bit of light. Now I want to see who else can stop me. Xiao Wushi went to the heavens, and the Xiao family had no martial god. Do they still need to be afraid of the Xiao family now? Therefore, everyone's tense hearts relaxed at this moment. Xiao Jiangxin and Xiao Tianyuan, who were standing in the demon locking tower observing all this, were immediately surprised when they saw this scene. I didn't expect that they would be able to bring things from the heavens in. It seems that the identity of this demon's holy son is extraordinary. Otherwise, how could he obtain such a treasure? Xiao Jiangxin gradually became worried. Is nothing going to happen? What if he really escapes? Xiao Tianyuan was quite calm. Do you still remember what Uncle Xian said before? In the demon locking tower, Qianqi is invincible. And has Qianqi changed since the demon saint's son devoured the active demon blood and essence blood? At this time, Xiao Jiangxin looked towards Qianqi. Sure enough, there was not even a trace of change on the other side, and it seemed that he did not take this demon clan's holy son seriously. Seeing this, Xiao Jiangxin felt relieved. At the same time, in the demon locking tower, several demon cultivator elders saw the demon clan's holy son undergoing earth-shaking changes. The rainbow farts came out one after another. The holy son is mighty. After today, there will be no rival for you in the vast world. Yes, the day when our blood knife sect will dominate the vast world is coming soon. With the holy son here, our blood knife sect will definitely be able to regain its glory. Who can compete with 9,000 years of magic power? At that time, we will first defeat the Xiao family, and then overthrow the Nanming Holy Dynasty. By then, the scale of our blood knife sect will occupy the entire vast world. The Holy Sun is mighty. The Holy Sun is mighty. Everyone was talking about it, and rainbow farts like cereal farts appeared one after another. Holy Sun, now that you have accomplished your magic, why don't we just break through? Hearing this, the holy son of the demon race flashed a strange color in his eyes. Then he looked at a few people. Don't worry, my father said that 9,000 years of mana is not safe. If you really want to become an invincible being, you have to start with 10,000 years of mana. And this is inseparable from the help of all the elders. When you help this holy sun break through the 10,000-year magic power, this holy sun will definitely reward you heavily. I wonder what the elders think? When the demon saint son spoke, his eyes revealed a strong bloodlust. The demon cultivator elders were immediately horrified when they saw this. He even subconsciously pushed back a few steps. I wonder what the one helping hand the holy sun refers to. The holy son of the demon race smiled evilly, and then the tip of his sharp tongue swiped from the corner of his mouth. Next moment, a terrifying aura erupted from the demon saint's son. Immediately afterwards, all the magic power of those demon cultivator elders went towards the demon saint's son. And their bodies were quickly becoming shriveled up at a speed visible to the naked eye. Even if they tried to escape, it was too late. It wasn't until this moment that they understood why the dry bones martial god and the demon saint's son were fighting. When they say that there are many rewards, there will be a strange look on their faces. It turns out that they had already planned a few of them to help the demon clan's holy son break through the 10,000-year magic power. As the bodies of several people shriveled up, the magic power of the demon saint's son also exceeded the 10,000-year mark. The 10,000-year-old magic power belonging to the powerful martial god suddenly raged in the demon locking tower. Looking at the withered bodies of several people, he stepped on them with disdain in his eyes. You are lucky to be able to be devoured by this holy son. Then he punched the restraint that trapped him. In an instant, a riot broke out in the demon locking tower. The demon saint's son also walked out of the restriction with a smile on his face. With such a little restriction, you still want to trap this holy son? How ridiculous! As expected of the magic power given by my father, it can not only swallow up the cultivator's level of cultivation, but also, it can also be converted into one's own mana. As long as it breaks through to 10,000 years of mana, it will reach the heavens. There are few opponents, and once he reaches the magic power of 1,000,000 years, he can become the god emperor instantly. And these have no effect on me at all. With my father's secret law in my body, these karma. It will also be transferred to other geniuses, and I can still continue to devour other cultivators to improve myself. Anyway, as long as the heavenly Deo doesn't discover it, I will run rampant in all the small worlds, and no one can control it. The demon boy threw his head back and laughed in high spirits. It was as if he had broken through the realm of the Supreme Emperor and became invincible in the world. At that time, even the unrivaled genius can only be my nourishment. And Xiao Xian. I heard he is the best swordsman in ancient and modern times. It happens to be my best nutrition. By then, I will be invincible. And Jamal Xiao? How dare you humiliate me like this? Just wait, the first thing I do when I go out. Just cut you into pieces. Just enough to give you a taste of being abused. The holy son of the demon clan only needs to think of the scene when he was defeated by Jamal Xiao that day. There was countless anger rushing and burning in his heart. The terrifying 10,000-year magic power is raging uncontrollably. Xiao Tianyuan, who was standing at the top of the demon locking tower, also showed some worry at this time. 10,000 years of mana seems a bit difficult to deal with. I don't know if it's easy to deal with him, but it's true that Kyanki is angry. Xiao Jiangxing crossed her arms and looked at Kyanki beside her with a look on her face. But he was surprised by the demonic power of the demonic saint. But more than his magic power, he wanted to know the consequences of irritating Kyanki. Even Xiao Tianyuan was attracted. The two looked at each other, both wanting to see what Kyanki would do. Kyanki stood up slowly, with a look of impatience on his face. Then he slowly walked towards the demon locking tower. The demon saint's son, relying on the fact that he would not be affected by karma, began to devour it directly on the third level. Seeing his cultivation realm rising continuously, the demon saint's son showed a satisfied smile. At this time, a monstrous murderous aura came from behind him. As soon as the demon saint's son turned around, he saw the ferocious beast Kyanki standing behind him. He suddenly became furious. Okay. You beast, this holy son didn't look for you, but you came to find me. Just let this holy son devour you. It is your blessing to be able to become the nourishment of this holy son. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 137. The moment he saw Kyanki appear behind him, the young saint's eyes were scarlet red, and thick murderous intent instantly burst out of him. He was originally imprisoned in the 3-story demon locking tower by Kyanki. If Kyanki hadn't suddenly appeared, he would have been knocked away with one kick. He had already broken through the restrictions of the demon locking tower and escaped. Why wait until the demons come to rescue him? How could he not take revenge after suffering such humiliation? You beast, you've come just in time. Let me give you a taste of the power of the 9-dragon spear that has been blessed with 10,000 years of mana. After saying that, the young holy son raised the 9-dragon spear in his hand and launched an attack. With the blessing of 10,000 years of mana, the 9-dragon spear burst out with a terrifying momentum. Wherever it passed, the gun point with the gun in full swing instantly caused a violent tremor. The demon locking tower was shaking even more, with flying sand and rocks waving around randomly. It can make people change their color. The power of the divine weapon becomes even more terrifying with the blessing of 10,000 years of mana. The young saint smiled arrogantly and stared at Kyanki with pride. The 9-dragon spear in his hand emits a terrifying black light. It seems to be swallowing up the entire demon-locking tower. The murderous intent in the young saint's eyes was even more intense. It seems that Kyanki is going to be killed on the spot. The 9-dragon spear in his hand stabbed Kyanki directly in the face at this moment. Even Xiao Jiangxin and Xiao Tianyun were surprised when they saw this scene. Although they can fight against the martial god, they are only limited to the martial god with 100 years of mana. Not to mention a warrior god with 10,000 years of magic power like the young holy son. Just when they were extremely worried about Kyanki's safety, Kyanki slowly stretched his waist. It was as if the young saint's behavior just now made him sleepy. Then he took a step. A huge force instantly exploded in the demon-locking tower. In an instant, the demon-locking tower was shaking continuously, and cracks appeared in countless buildings. Even Xiao Jiangxin and Xiao Tianyun almost fell from the demon-locking tower. When they stabilized their bodies, they saw that Kyanki's kick just now directly stopped the young holy son's 9-dragon spear. The power that exploded instantly turned into waves of light, sweeping towards the opponent. Boom! The intense trembling caused varying degrees of injuries to the young saint's arms. If it weren't for the protection of the divine soft armor on his body, his entire arm would have been destroyed. When he stabilized his body, he found cracks on the soft armor on his body. The young saint was greatly surprised. This divine soft armor not only has the power of his father's bloodline, but it is also forged from a treasure. And this beast actually trampled it to pieces. The young saint couldn't help but show a horrified look. How can this be? He looked at Kyanki in disbelief, his eyes filled with anger. Xiao Jiangxin and Xiao Tianyun were also greatly surprised when they saw this scene. The young holy son blessed with 10,000 years of mana couldn't even take Kyanki's casual kick. No wonder Xiao Xian just asked them to watch quietly. Such strength is simply too terrifying. The young saint was stunned and roared hysterically. Who are you? Even in the heavens, no monster like you can be found. However, Kyanki snorted coldly. Then he took another step. In an instant, the entire demon-locking tower trembled violently. Countless buildings that looked like rocks collapsed instantly. This kick brings endless sharpness, which can't help but wreak havoc on the entire demon-locking tower. All the divine soft armor on the young saint's son was broken. Even the 9-dragon spear was shattered, and half of his arm disappeared. Instead, there was a hole where blood was flowing. His entire body was also rippled by the light pattern of this kick. He was knocked back onto the stone wall behind him, leaving a huge human-shaped pit. Xiao Jiangxin and Xiao Tianyun were shocked by the scene before them. Kyanki's strength is so powerful. With just 2 feet, not even the divine weapon can withstand its attack power. What if all the strength is unleashed? Then Kyanki walked towards the young holy son step by step. She seemed to have lost patience and continued to deal with him. The young holy son looked at Kyanki with a fearful look in his eyes. Blood was flowing from his mouth, and he had already retreated behind him. He looked at the approaching Kyanki in horror and threatened. I am of the blood of the devil clan. If you dare to kill me, aren't you afraid that my father will seek revenge on you? You are just a beast, What qualifications do you have to kill me? Aren't you afraid that the demon clan will destroy you? Demon clan. Beast. If you take another step forward, you will pay the price for the entire demon clan. You can't bear it. The young saint's voice broke, and he could not hide the fear in his heart. However, Kyanki didn't even look at him, and didn't pay attention to his threat at all. Then he slowly raised his left foot, preparing to kill the noisy young saint directly. At this time, the broken treasure shone with a strange light. Even Kyanki was attracted by this strange light. Immediately afterwards, I saw these rays of light gradually condensing together and forming a shadow. The phantom was covered in black robes, and a powerful dark aura erupted from his body. Just a shadow has the terrifying feeling of swallowing people up. Those eyes that cannot see the white of the eyes have the ability to penetrate everything in the world. Kyanki snorted disdainfully, but was not frightened by the shadow. On the contrary, he looked impatient. The young saint's son was overjoyed when he saw this phantom. "Father! Father, save me!" Then he shouted towards the phantom. This person is a demon son of the demon clan, and not only has a very high status in the demon clan. His strength is at the level of a great emperor and can be shaken by very few people. And he is the next candidate for the demon emperor. He can ascend the throne only after he becomes the titled emperor. When Xiao Tianyun and Xiao Jiangxin saw this person's shadow appearing here, they immediately became vigilant. Even the roaring sky dog, Bifang bird and three-legged golden crow on the side cast their gazes. But seeing Kyanki standing there, they all turned their gazes back. Kyanki looked indifferent as he faced this phantom, and even felt a little impatient. The phantom of the demon son just glanced at the holy son asking for help. Then he looked at Kyanki with a look of surprise and amazement. "You are neither a demon nor a monster, but you have such terrifying bloodline and strength. It seems that you are the legendary race born from heaven and earth." Facing the questions from the demon clan Motzi, Kyanki did not make any response. Demon Motzi put his hands behind his back and looked at Kyanki carefully. It turns out to be a clan of monsters. No wonder they haven't transformed into human form yet. The demon clan is divided into two types, demons and beasts. Both belong to the shape-shifting race, and among them, the realm of cultivation in the form of monsters and beasts is the most terrifying. Although they have never transformed into human form, they cannot speak. But his intelligence is higher than that of ordinary people, and his strength is even more terrifying. If you encounter a monster in human form, the opponent will be at least a god emperor level figure. Knowing that Kyanki can understand what he means, he stopped talking nonsense. "Let's do this, for the sake of my demon son, let the demon saint go. Although my face cannot bring you substantial value in the vast world, it can help you a lot in the heavens." I thought Kyanki would readily agree without hesitation. Unexpectedly, the other party snorted coldly, and then turned his head to the side. Obviously, he just doesn't want to give the demon clan demon son this face. The demon clan demon child suddenly became furious. "Do you know the consequences of confronting this emperor? Killing my son. Not even the entire demon clan can protect you. You are not afraid that the demon clan will perish because of you. If you give me a favor today, you can still get a favor from me. Otherwise, the demon clan and the demon clan would be mortal enemies. So what if you are a monster born from heaven and earth? Even if the demon clan tries its best to save you, it's impossible for them to do so. You'd better think about the consequences of this." However, Kyanki flicked his tail impatiently. It doesn't pay attention to the threat of demons and demons at all. Then he stepped on the head of the young holy son. The young saint's son, who was still in a state of triumph, was shocked by this sudden surprise. The demons and devils have a certain power of intimidation even in the heavens. He is also the candidate for the next demon emperor, and his influence is feared by the common people. But Kyanki was not only unafraid of the threat from Motzi, He even killed himself in front of him. How can this be? Even though his two eyeballs had fallen to the ground, he could still see the disbelief in them. If he kills himself and becomes the enemy of the demons, isn't Kyanki not afraid at all? Does it have such confidence? Don't be afraid that the demon clan will be slaughtered by the demon clan. Even the demon clan Motzi was stunned for a moment by Kyanki's kick. However, after Kyanki crushed the head of the Holy Sun, he rubbed the blood on his paws on the ground in disgust. It was as if the other party had soiled his body. It's not afraid of any demons. What if the demon emperor comes? It can still crush it to death with one kick. A mere demon clan, in front of the monster clan back then. It's just a race that lives for the sake of survival. He was not even qualified to lift his shoes in front of their monsters. Not to mention showing off in front of him like he is now. Besides, its father was a terrifying existence who followed the monster king on the battlefield. Demons. Pooh. I don't know which corner I'm hiding in, shivering, just waiting for the end of that great war. Then save your own life. If we didn't join forces with other tribes later, how could we fight against their powerful monster tribe? If it weren't for the fact that the monster king later wanted to go against the will of heaven and practice the path of enlightenment, he would be abandoned by the way of heaven. There is no time for you demons to speak. And the originator of monster beasts is the chaos demon god? How can the mere demons compare with your background? Do you still want the direct bloodline of the ferocious beast to admit your mistake? This is so ridiculous. It would be fine if I didn't kill you all, but you still dare to threaten me. Motzi saw his biological son being trampled to death by Kyanki back then. Although he looked calm on the face, he was already furious in his heart. He stared at Kyanki coldly, and then looked at Xiao Jiangxin and Xiao Tianyun on the demon locking tower. It was like being stared at by a poisonous snake. Xiao family. Monster. Prodigy. Ha! I remember you. Heavens, I'm waiting for you. However, Kyanki snorted very impatiently and then stepped on it. No matter if he is the great emperor or a demon child, if you don't like it, I will trample you to death. Don't say this is just a shadow, even if the real body is here. I'm not afraid anymore. Then he swung his tail lazily and walked outside in a swagger. Lifting my feet is really tiring, so I need to get more sleep. That Xiao Xian also needs to seize the time to practice. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to speak out, which would be a bit frustrating. Immediately afterwards there were loud snoring sounds. Xiao Jiangxin and Xiao Tianyun were immediately horrified when they saw this. The Holy Sun blessed by 10,000 years of mana? Trample him to death. A devil from the demon clan who has reached the realm of the great emperor? Trample him to death. And very contemptuous. In his eyes, are these terrifying existences so insignificant? What kind of terrifying existence is this? The two looked at each other and saw shock in each other's eyes. No wonder the head of the family, Uncle Xian, said that with Kyanki in charge of the demon locking tower, there was no need to worry about any problems. Even a titled emperor with such strength may not be able to defeat it with absolute certainty. Then the two of them looked in the direction of Bai Fangniao, and instantly understood where it was afraid of Kyanki. After all, it is difficult to find an existence that even the pure-blooded three-legged golden crow is afraid of in the entire vast world. They still remember the heroic deeds of this three-legged golden crow. That's enough to scare people. Can you imagine how terrifying Kyanki can be to make it even afraid? Even the barking dog can only wag its tail to show goodwill in front of Kyanki. The two left here with extremely shocked eyes. At the same time, Xiao Xian, who was breaking through to the martial god realm in the yard, naturally didn't know what happened in the demon locking tower. Even if he knew it, he wouldn't have the time to pay attention to such a trivial matter. At this moment, he has reached the most critical moment to break through to the realm of the god of war. At this time, After Kyanki killed the young saint blessed by 10,000 years of mana, all his mana was transferred to Xiaoxian. Xiaoxian, who was breaking through to the martial god realm, suddenly broke through the barrier. An aura of divine power burst out instantly. The physical appearance of his life behind him has also undergone tremendous changes. Ding, the system has detected that the host has broken through to the realm of the god of war, and the sealed mana is now being released. Ding, the system has detected that the host has broken through to the realm of the god of war, and the mana converted by luck is now being released. Ding, the system has detected that the host has broken through to the realm of the god of war, and the mana converted from Daoyun is now being released. The terrifying power of God couldn't help but burst out. A series of terrifying divine sharp edges were raging in the room. The martial god realm that Xiaoxian had just broken through was also changing at this moment. His magic power is also constantly improving. 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 5,000 years. It wasn't until 8,000 years ago that Xiaoxian's aura slowly stopped. Then, a violent tremor broke out in Xiaoxian's room. Immediately afterwards, an aura of divine power rushed into the sky. All the Xiao family members looked in the direction of Xiaoxian's room at this moment. Uncontrollable ecstasy in my heart. In their Xiao family, a second martial god appeared after Xiao Wuxi. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 138. The addition of 8,000 years of mana has caused tremendous changes in Xiaoxian. The terrifying momentum is restrained, but it gives people an extremely majestic feeling. Slowly opening his eyes, a terrifying divine power burst out instantly. Although his current magic power is only 8,000 years old, he has absolute confidence to defeat opponents who are tens of thousands of years old. Even he himself doesn't know how strong he is now. But it doesn't matter if he knows, there is no rival for him in the vast world. At the same time, in an ancient palace above the heavens, the demon child slowly opened his eyes and destroyed a guard next to him with monstrous rage. The demonic power around him is constantly venting outward. What a ferocious beast! How dare you kill my son? The anger and hatred on Mako's face were expressed unabashedly. It doesn't matter that a son died, what matters is that his plan was shattered. I was about to complete that plan, but the Xiao family showed up halfway. How disgusting! But fortunately, it won't have a big impact. As long as we send another direct descendant, we can continue the plan. It's just a pity that these magic weapons and active demon blood were wasted by that concubine's son. As long as you can help me achieve the true fairyland, your death will be considered worthwhile. By then, I will be the only true fairy mirror in the world. Speaking of this, Mako's face radiated endless hot light. Use 9 direct descendants to devour the common people, obtain millions of years of skills, and then set foot on the land of immortality. Obtain the active immortal blood, and finally the Emperor will directly devour these 9 direct descendants. By then, my cultivation level will be able to directly break through the true immortal mirror. Become a real fairy. Although this is a dark cultivation technique left over from ancient times, its power is infinitely powerful. Speaking of this, the demon's eyes showed greedy light. Everyone in the world wants to come to the heavens to prove their strength and gain great opportunities. Little do they know that the real great opportunities are not in the universe, but in those small worlds. It is easier to find the inheritance of the dead immortal, and even the active essence and blood of the true immortal. This emperor has spent a lot of effort. Only then did we find the place where the true immortal fell. How could we give up so easily? If a son dies, there are other sons who can take his place. As long as they swallow the immortal blood. When the time comes, I will use the sacrificial method in the magic practice method to devour them all. By then, this emperor will be the only immortal in the world. I wonder who in the world can still be my opponent. Having said this, a trace of regret flashed across Mako's face. The vast world is one of the small worlds where the immortal has fallen, and there must be great opportunities in it. It's just a pity that Kinjao has to be sent down. With her wealth, she has more important tasks. Then he muttered a few words into the air, and waves of distortions occurred in the palace. Then a woman with a good figure, an alluring appearance, and a cold temperament appeared in front of him. This woman faintly exudes the aura of a human woman. The woman looked at Mako with indifferent eyes. "What do you want from me?" Her tone was cold and her eyes were indifferent, as if she was not talking to her father. The demon child was naturally furious at her attitude. "Is this the way you talk to your father?" Hearing this, the girl raised her eyes slightly, with a hint of sneer in her eyes. The breeze blew by, adding a bit of cold and dusty beauty. "Are you worthy of being a father?" There was no emotion in her expression, as if all her emotions and desires had been taken away. "You bastard! Believe it or not, I will slap you to death with one palm of my hand." Demon's momentum suddenly exploded around him. Locking the girl tightly under the power of his great emperor, the girl's face remained unchanged and she stared at him with cold eyes. "If you came to me just to kill me, then do it quickly." Mako was furious, but he still needed his daughter to do things for him. Then he regained his momentum and showed a somewhat stiff and sad look on his face. "This emperor is just too sad that your brother is dead, and he couldn't control his emotions for a while. This is why I did such a thing to you. Don't blame me." "Stop pretending," the girl's cold voice broke through Mako's performance. "In your eyes, children are just pawns used to complete tasks. The death of a son is nothing. As long as it doesn't affect your plan, how can you show such an expression with your heart?" Mako didn't feel embarrassed, but remained silent for a moment. "Am I so miserable in your eyes? But among these children, you are the one who understands me best." After all, he didn't disguise his true intentions. "Tell me, why did you come to me?" The girl curled her lips disdainfully, not surprised by his sudden change. "If it's just to let me see your true face, then I'll leave." Seeing that the girl was about to turn around and leave, the demon child spoke. "I found a place of death in the vast world. Now your brother is dead. I hope you can go there, find that opportunity, and obtain the inheritance of the dead immortal. Then you try to get millions of years of mana. I know you don't like killing. So just use your own method to complete this task." The girl looked at him with cold eyes, without any emotional change. Mako was not angry, but looked at her with a half smile. "If you can complete this mission, I will not only tell you the whereabouts of your mother, but also let your mother and daughter meet." The moment the girl heard the news about her mother, the aura belonging to the God King erupted from her body. "Where is my mother?" There was deep anger in her beautiful eyes. Demon Matsi curled his lips. "As long as you complete this mission, your mother will naturally appear." "Say it." "See this." Mako sneered, and then told the girl his plan, just hiding the part that swallowed Jizu. The girl knew what kind of person he was, so she stared at him with anger in her eyes. "I want you to swear to heaven." Mako was furious and even wanted to kill her on the spot. But he knew this daughter's temperament, so he had to swear to heaven in front of her. It wasn't until heaven's warning came that the girl left calmly. After the girl left, Mako continued to vent his anger. He didn't know how many times today he was so angry that he wanted to kill someone. "If you hadn't been able to help me complete my plan, I would have cut you into pieces." Thinking of his plan that was about to succeed, a smile appeared on his face again. "Fortunately, I didn't kill that human woman back then, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to contain you. After all, he is of human blood, and this indecisiveness is really a fatal flaw." At this time, there was also a commotion at the Blood Knife sect in Zhongtian. Kinjao, the daughter of the demons from all over the world, came to the Blood Knife sect in person, which was not only a good opportunity for them to curry favor with them. This is the time to prove his strength, as long as he pleases this cold daughter. With her status, she will definitely be able to say more good things to herself in front of the devil. At this time, the withered bone god of war was smiling playfully, nodding and bowing, showing a flattering smile to Kinjao. Holy girl, this is the elixir specially prepared by Motsi for you. He knows that you have sacrificed your own cultivation to come to the next session. I feel very pity in my heart, so let us give this elixir to you so that you can quickly improve your cultivation level. However, Kinjao didn't even look at them and disappeared directly in front of them. This made the dry bones martial god and his men look at each other in confusion. Although he already knew the strange temperament of the saint from the devil. But I was still a bit caught off guard when it came to actually getting along. How can we ease the father-daughter relationship between the devil and the saint? One of the deputy cult leaders looked at the dry bones martial god with some sadness. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future. Let's listen to Mako now and leave her alone for the time being. She has a weird temper, but she is also a little girl, and there is always something that can coax her. There was a hint of sparkle in the eyes of the dry bones martial god. The news that the saint of the devil clan of the heavens descended to Zhongtian has not spread in the boundless world. Even the Xiao family, who knew about this, did not take any action. At this time, Xiao Xian was collecting his system rewards in the room. There is even less time to take care of these things. Ding, congratulations to the host for breaking through to the martial god, and his family luck meets the requirements of an 8th grade family. Does the host choose to receive the 8th grade family reward now? Xiao Xian was a little surprised when he received the system prompt. The 8 geniuses in the family dominate the heavenly ranking, and it goes without saying that they have gained good luck. Coupled with the luck that comes with the family's residence, today's Xiao family is no worse than some top aristocratic families. But because there is no god of war in charge, the family has been unable to meet the upgrade requirements. Now that he has broken through the martial god, he has also broken through the martial god along with Kyanki, Bai Fangniao, Roaring Sky Dog, and the 3-legged golden crow. Suddenly there were several more martial gods in the family, which triggered the family upgrade. Thinking of this, Xiao Xian smiled helplessly. Is this a typical example of the legendary situation where one person dies from exhaustion and the next generation enjoys the blessings? Then he chose to receive the reward without hesitation. Ding, the family is automatically upgraded to an 8th grade family, and the host gains 3,000 years of mana. The Sutra Pavilion, Enlightenment Room, Jingshi Hall, 10,000 Swords Cave, and the Mountain Guard Sword Formation Family Station are automatically upgraded to the 8th level. Obtain 3 Imperial Spiritual Veins, various top-grade seeds 100 units, top-grade rare mineral veins 10, top-grade rare seeds * 100 units. Zangjing Pavilion, 8th grade. Increase the weight of martial arts and enhance the effects of martial arts. The hidden talent of the clan members increased by 50%, and the chance of comprehending the artistic conception increased by 50%. The king level and king level exercises are automatically refreshed every day, and the emperor level and low level exercises are refreshed every half month. A book of holy grade exercises is automatically refreshed every year, and a book of low grade holy grade exercises is automatically refreshed every 10 years. Enlightenment Room, 8th grade 8th floor, 1 layer of aura increases by 60%. The second level of spiritual energy is increased by 70%, and the third level of spiritual energy is increased by 90%. The fourth layer of spiritual energy is increased by 100%, the fifth layer of spiritual energy is transformed into richness, and the absorption of the clan members is increased by 10%. The tribe's enlightenment is increased by 80%, the spiritual energy at the 6th level is purified by 3%, the 7th level opens a 1 to 2 time flow rate, and the 8th level opens a 1 to 4 time flow rate. Family Head Jade Pendant, 8th grade. The mid-grade qualification for the birth of a new family member is increased by 50%. The birth of a newborn's top grade qualifications increases by 50%, increasing the family's spiritual energy growth rate. It can be integrated with spiritual veins and family residences, and can help the host improve to a greater realm. Family residence, 8th grade automatically expands spiritual veins, generate spiritual fields, give birth to high-grade spiritual veins, and increase spiritual energy by 80%. 10,000 Swords Cave, 8th grade contains 10,000 swords in the world. The landing of divine weapons is increased by 50%, and you can obtain Imperial level divine weapons. Mountain protecting sword formation, 8th grade can kill all enemies in the vast world. Enlightenment Sky Monument, 8th grade. The chance of enlightenment for the clan members is increased by 50%, and the chance of understanding the artistic conception is increased according to the opponent's talent. Can be superimposed with the Enlightenment Room to add attributes, only for family members. Monster Locking Tower, Level 8 randomly releases tasks, most of which are to capture monsters, evil spirits, and magic cultivators. Lock it in the Demon Locking Tower and issue rewards according to the capture level. At the same time, the host can also obtain the Destiny of Heaven, which can be converted into exchange points, and all living creatures can be suppressed in the Demon Locking Tower. In an instant, a large amount of rewards were poured into Xiao Xian's body. And Xiao Xian also gained enlightenment at this moment. He had just broken through to 8,000 mana, and his mana was still soaring at this moment. It wasn't until 11,000 years that it slowly stopped. At this time, he even dared to say that opponents with millions of years of magic power could not defeat him. Open the door and walk out of the room in high spirits. Today's Xiao family residence is about half the size of the dynasty. However, because the Xiao family's personnel are still relatively sparse, it seems that the Xiao family's residence is extremely vast. But this is the best time for Xiao family disciples to practice. Thinking of the descendants of the family who are constantly working hard to create humans, Xiao Xian couldn't help but smile in his eyes. Although the Xiao family is now sparsely populated, the Xiao family is strong enough to fear nothing in the vast world. At this time, a descendant of the Xiao family came to report. To report to the head of the family, Elder Ji Unfeng asked me to come and inform you that the Xiao family in Zhongtian is here to visit. The visitors are all core members, the great elders, and they say they have something important to discuss with you. Xiao Xian was a little surprised when he heard this. Why did the Zhongtian Xiao family come here at this time? He still remembers what the Zhongtian Xiao family said back then. But at that time, he had not yet awakened his memory and system. Now seeing the Xiao family in Zhongtian again, haha. Then he followed the family descendants to the meeting hall. He wanted to see what shocking words the Zhongtian Xiao family would say this time. At this time, Xiao Ji Unfeng was exchanging cups with the great elder of Zhongtian. Although he kept trying to trick the other party's mouth was like a dead duck, too hard to pry open. No matter how angry he is, he can't get angry with him in person, because he is a serious god of war. At this time, Xiao Xian, dressed in white, appeared in front of everyone. The moment everyone in the Xiao family in Zhongtian saw Xiao Xian, their eyes showed deep shock. The feeling Xiao Xian gave them was no less shocking than the shock Xiao Wuxi gave them. I originally thought that Xiao Wuxi had gone to all the worlds, and this time the mission would be completed easily. Who would have thought that Xiao Xian would also break through to the martial god? This momentum is even comparable to Xiao Wuxi. Thinking of what happened to Xiao Wuxi before, their hearts sank. Xiao Ji Unfeng stepped forward to salute Xiao Xian, and then stood behind him. The eldest elder of the Xiao family in Zhongtian also stepped forward. Xiao Ao, the eldest elder of the Xiao family in Zhongtian, pays homage to the head of the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang. Xiao Ao's etiquette was so thorough that no one could find fault with him. Get up, brother Xiao, Xiao Suangxu gave him a hand, and then asked directly. I wonder why you came here on behalf of the Zhongtian Xiao family this time. Xiao Ao didn't expect Xiao Xian to be so straightforward, so he was stunned on the spot. Then he looked at the few cronies behind him, and after checking their eyes, he looked at Xiao Xian. This time I came with the news of a win-win situation between the Zhongtian Xiao family and the southern Xinjiang Xiao family. Xiao Xian raised his eyebrows and smiled, seeming a little moved. Oh, a win-win situation. Xiao Ao took a deep breath, and then informed Xiao Xian about his visit this time. The Xiao family in Zhongtian and the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang merge into one. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 139. As soon as these words came out, the entire Xiao family was shocked. The merger of the two companies sounds easy, but in fact it is just annexing the other company. Therefore, everyone in the Xiao family looked at Xiao Xian with different expressions. Seeing that the other party's expression remained normal, the latter relaxed his attitude. But Xiao Ao's heart sank. Then, Xiao Xian looked at Xiao Ao calmly. I don't know what the win-win method you are talking about is. A win-win situation? Is it just the merger of the Zhongtian Xiao family and the Nanjiang Xiao family? After a win-win situation, how will the interests of the two companies be divided? When Xiao Ao heard this, his heart became even more depressed, and he even felt an unprecedented pressure. But he still informed Xiao Xian of the purpose of his trip. You must also know this time's ranking of the top 10 forces in Tiandao. Xiao Xian raised his eyebrows and motioned for him to continue. Xiao Ao smiled faintly when he saw this, and then said, this time the Tiandao ranking opens, and it is also the end of the last Tiandao ranking. The rankings of the top 10 forces. In addition to generous rewards, the most important thing is family luck. The importance of luck. I don't think I need to say more, the head of the Xiao family also knows its importance. Seeing that Xiao Xian remained silent, Xiao Ao probably knew what he was thinking. Although the Xiao family has many geniuses, with your current strength, it is very difficult to be among the top 10 forces. Doesn't the head of the Xiao family want to change the current situation? Xiao Xian smiled calmly, if you have anything to say, just say it directly, there is no need to beat around the bush. Xiao Ao didn't talk nonsense when he heard this, and directly made his intention clear. Although the Xiao family's genius is extremely outstanding and occupies the top 8 positions in the heavenly ranking. But apart from Xiao Tianyun and others who have some strength, can the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang produce other high-level geniuses? Or in other words, does the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang really have the strength to be among the top 10 forces on the list? As soon as Xiao Ao's words came out, the expressions of everyone present changed drastically. They even felt that there was overwhelming anger in their hearts, but they knew that what Xiao Ao said was not wrong. Although the geniuses of the Xiao family are outstanding, they do not have high-end combat effectiveness. The ranking of the top 10 forces on the Tiandao ranking takes into account overall strength. However, Xiao Xian did not take it seriously. The Xiao family not only has a few great geniuses, but also magical beasts like Kyanki, Bai Fangniao, Howling Sky Dog and Three-Legged Golden Crow. No matter who among them comes forward, it will make the entire boundless world tremble. If even the Xiao family couldn't take first place among the top 10 forces, who else can win such an honor? Of course, Xiao Xian only thought about these words in his heart, there was no need to say them out. But when Xiao Ao saw everyone in the Xiao family speechless, even Xiao Xian didn't say anything. He knew that half of his goal had been achieved, so he continued to speak. The Zhongtian Xiao family has this strength. First of all, the Zhongtian Xiao family has been standing since ancient times. After thousands of years of accumulation, the foundation and strength have long been unmatched by other families. Among them, there are already dozens of martial gods, and none of them are pseudo-martial gods. Having said this, Xiao Ao showed a somewhat proud smile on his face. Even his waist straightened up inadvertently. That was the pride of the Zhongtian Xiao family. After hearing this, everyone in the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang fell into silence. In fact, with their strength, if they want to surpass the Zhongtian Xiao family, it will be a matter of time. But they haven't surpassed it yet, so they can't stand the other party's triumphant look. They can only endure it silently, because their current strength level is not enough. However, when the other party mentioned the new generation of genius, his expression became lonely. Although the Zhongtian Xiao family has great strength, but... As soon as these words came out, everyone in the Xiao family cast doubtful glances. But among the new generation of geniuses, there are no top geniuses. Even the geniuses who take the lead are very rare. Xiao Xian knew this. The Xiao family in Zhongtian is an old family, and there is no need for him to explain how powerful it is. But the new generation of geniuses are very few, let alone the top geniuses. Even among the 36 geniuses in Zhongtian, no Xiao family member from the Zhongtian Xiao family is on the list. One can imagine how weak the new generation of geniuses are. Then Xiao Xian said calmly, "You mean, you and I will merge to become the #1 power in the vast world?" Xiao Ao nodded upon hearing this, his words full of confidence. With the power of the Xiao family in Zhongtian and the genius strength of the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang, why can't you and I merge to become the #1 power in the vast world? My Zhongtian Xiao family has double digits of martial gods, and none of them are false martial gods. And your Xiao family in southern Xinjiang has emperor-level geniuses like Xiao Tianyuan, Xiao Qingyuan, and Xiao Jiangxin. Coupled with you, the best swordsman in the world in ancient and modern times, merging the two is not a win-win strategy. As soon as these words came out, not only the Xiao family in Zhongtian thought it was very reasonable. Even the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang thought it was particularly good. Xiao Xian raised his eyebrows and smiled, "This method is indeed very good. Without doing anything, you can gain a huge family power. By then, the strength of these little guys will be able to improve faster. In this case, let's take the Zhongtian Xiao family under our control." However, Xiao Ao didn't know what Xiao Xian was thinking. The person who continued to persuade said, "If you and I merge our families and gain the luck of being the first family, the luck of the Xiao family will improve for at least hundreds of thousands of years. At that time, even people from all over the world will have to be courteous to us." Xiao Ao thought that the emotion shown on his face was so touching that he almost shed tears. Everyone in the Xiao family will definitely agree when they see him showing his true feelings like this. However, Xiao Xian and all the elders of the Xiao family fell into silence. Xiao Jianfeng and the other elders even frowned. The merger of the Zhongtian Xiao family and the southern Xinjiang Xiao family is indeed a happy event for everyone. But if the two merge, who will be in charge? With the strength of the Zhongtian Xiao family, they would definitely not agree to let them make the decision. Therefore, the other party has only one purpose: annex the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang. Thinking of this, several elders showed angry looks on their faces. Just when several elders were about to speak out to refute, Xiao Xian's words almost made them cry. "I agree." He didn't wait for the elders to speak. Xiao Xian looked at Xiao Ao and showed an extremely sincere smile. "I have carefully considered the strength of the Xiao family in Zhongtian and the genius strength of the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang. The combination of the two will definitely become the #1 force in the vast world. Therefore I agree with the merger of the two." Xiao Ao almost jumped for joy. Was this a success? He thought it would take a while, but he didn't expect that the head of the Xiao family would be so stupid. You can't even see through such a simple thing. But fortunately he was stupid, otherwise this matter would have been really difficult. Then he looked at Xiao Xian eagerly. The head of the Xiao family is wise. If you and I merge, we will surely become the best in the ages. Head of the Xiao family, you can also relax. Our Zhongtian Xiao family will send a martial god to take charge when the time comes. Not only that, the geniuses of the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang also have the opportunity to go to the Xiao family in Zhongtian to practice. By then, top geniuses like Xiao Tianyun will become even more powerful because of this. You don't have to worry that the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang will be deprived of their right to speak, we Zhongtian Xiao. Before Xiao Ao could finish his words, Xiao Xian spoke calmly, interrupting his eloquence. Since the two family heads have agreed to merge the Xiao family, when will your Zhongtian Xiao family be merged into the southern Xinjiang Xiao family? After all, your Zhongtian Xiao family is so sincere and brings so many high-level personnel here in person. The annexation issue cannot be delayed any longer. I think it is better to resolve it as soon as possible. As soon as these words came out, the passionate Xiao Ao's brain shut down on the spot, and he was froze on the spot. Obviously he didn't realize what Xiao Xian said just now. Did he understand it wrong, or was this what Xiao Xian meant? Even the Xiao family behind him looked confused. Then react immediately. The stone in my heart has finally fallen. They almost forgot that the head of the family in front of them had shady tricks that ordinary people could not bear. Although he doesn't care about anything within the family, as long as it involves family interests. As for the affairs of the family's genius, let alone big things, they are just trivial matters. He can even peel off a layer of your skin without saying a word no. Now it is a major family matter. With the character of this sinister family leader, how can he just give up? Therefore, everyone stood behind Xiao Xian, waiting to watch the show. Xiao Ao was stunned for a long time before he reacted. Then he asked Xiao Xian in disbelief, "Did you just say that the Xiao family in Zhongtian was merged into the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang?" Xiao Xian nodded non-committally. "That's natural. Your Zhongtian Xiao family has traveled hundreds of millions of miles to come to the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang. Your sincerity is great. Our Xiao family in southern Xinjiang naturally cannot refuse your sincerity, right?" After saying that, he worked very hard to show a touched expression. "Since the founding of our southern Xinjiang Xiao family, we have not accepted anyone with the same surname from outside to join us. However, your Zhongtian Xiao family is so sincere, this family leader is very touched, so it is not impossible to make an exception for you." Xiao Ao almost turned to stone after hearing these words. Even the elders and senior officials behind him were filled with dark thoughts after hearing this. Why do these words sound like the Zhongtian Xiao family is begging the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang to accept them? Xiao Ao was almost surrounded by him. "Master Xiao, you may have misunderstood me. What I mean is to merge the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang into the Xiao family in Zhongtian. Although I, Zhongtian, is the main one, you, the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang, still have your own independent right to speak." When Xiao Xian heard this, he immediately refused to make an appointment. "You Zhongtian Xiao family came all the way. I don't dislike you and am willing to let you merge. It turns out that you are putting the cart before the horse, and you want us to merge into your Zhongtian Xiao family, which is really a big statement." After hearing these words, Xiao Ao knew that he would not be able to complete the task so easily this time. This head of the Xiao family looks stupid, but in fact he is making a big move behind his back. What an old cunt. Before Xiao Ao could speak, an elder behind him stepped forward angrily and said, "Since the establishment of our Zhongtian Xiao family, no matter in terms of strength or number of personnel, none of them can be compared to your Xiao family in southern Xinjiang. Why do you annex our Xiao family in Zhongtian? Xiao Xian smiled lightly and drank the tea in his hand leisurely. Seeing this, Xiao Jianfeng stepped forward. Don't say that your Xiao family in Zhongtian is a survival from ancient times. With our Xiao family in southern Xinjiang, today's development trends, scale, system, and the development potential of future generations of geniuses. How long can you last with just a few of your exhausted old generation of strong men? Not to mention that your current number of employees exceeds 100 million, so what if it exceeds 1 billion, tens of billions, or hundreds of billions? As long as my Xiao family in southern Xinjiang wants to, can you, the Xiao family in Zhongtian, still be able to escape? The man was so angry that he wanted to fight Xiao Jianfeng, but Xiao Ao stopped him. Xiao Ao looked at Xiao Xian with cold eyes. The head of the Xiao family really does not consider merging into the Zhongtian Xiao family. If you merge into the Zhongtian Xiao family, not to mention having all the resources for cultivation, even your top geniuses will have better room for development. When the time comes to get the reward of being ranked first, the Zhongtian Xiao family will not lose the luck of your southern Xinjiang Xiao family. Not only that, we can also come forward to resolve the conflict between your Xiao family in southern Xinjiang and the Wangxiang Heavenly Palace. In the world of the heavens, our Zhongtian Xiao family also has the right to speak. When the time comes, as long as you apologize to the Wangxiang Heavenly Palace, the grievances between the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang and the Wangxiang Heavenly Palace can be regarded as wiped away. In addition, I remember that Xiao Wuxi is also among the heavens, but his current situation is not good. After all, he is being chased by the young master of the Wangxiang Heavenly Palace himself. Even if he has monstrous abilities, how in the world can one escape unharmed from a group of attacks? However, as long as you nod and agree to merge into the Xiao family of Zhongtian, let alone the crisis in the Vientiane Palace will be resolved. Even Xiao Wuxi's safety can be relieved at the same time, and he can also gain the attention of the powerful in the heavens. This is an excellent development for your Xiao family, as well as those top talents who will step into the heavens in the future. Xiao Xian was unmoved when he heard this, and looked at Xiao Ao calmly. I accepted your annexation with good intentions, but you still threatened me with such and such things. It really chills my heart, but considering that your strength is pretty good, the head of this family is willing to give you a chance to reconsider. As for the rest, let's not talk about it. The young master of Vientiane Heavenly Palace still wants him to apologize. It really makes me laugh to death. If the little guys hadn't grown up, he had already gone up and killed that little brat. And apologized. I apologize to you. Since Xiao Wuxi chose to enter the world, it proved that he had the absolute strength to protect himself. A mere pursuit by the Vientiane Heavenly Palace could make him fall, and he deserved it. It's really ridiculous that you dare to threaten him with these two trivial things. Seeing that Xiao Xian was unmoved, Xiao Ao suddenly became impatient. The head of the Xiao family really doesn't consider merging into the Xiao family in Zhongtian. Although he didn't show any anger, the broken teacup in his hand said it all. The warning and threat in his eyes were revealed unabashedly. Xiao Xian seemed to be frightened when he saw this. What if I said I wouldn't consider it? What would you do? Humph! Xiao Ao instantly burst out with the power of a 1,000-year-old martial god. The contempt in his eyes was revealed unabashedly. Don't consider it? Do you really think that with the strength of your southern Xinjiang Xiao family, you can merge into our Zhongtian Xiao family? If the Zhongtian Xiao family hadn't been so kind, let alone being unqualified for annexation, it would have been impossible for them to even be looked upon by the Zhongtian Xiao family. These words made all the elders of the Xiao family furious and ready to go to war with him at any time. However, when Xiao Xian heard this, he simply said, "Oh. In this way, this is still a supreme honor. Unfortunately, this honor is not rare to me." However, the head of this family still said the same thing: merge into the Zhongtian Xiao family, No need to discuss it. But if you merge into the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang, this family head can barely accept it. Xiao Xian. Do you really think you are very powerful? Do you know the consequences of ignoring my Zhongtian Xiao family? Xiao Ao stood up angrily and pointed at Xiao Xian with an angry look. Xiao Xian smiled indifferently. Although your Zhongtian Xiao family is powerful, how does it compare with the strength of Wangxiang Heavenly Palace? A trace of uneasiness flashed across Xiao Ao's face, and before he could speak, Xiao Xian's voice came again. Although the Xiao family in Zhongtian has many martial gods sitting in its place, compared to the Wangxiang Heavenly Palace where the great emperor of the world sits, the difference in strength is not just a tiny bit. Otherwise how could you have said anything to ask us to apologize? If you have really considered the relationship between this carefully, you should know. Since I can destroy the heavenly palace of all things just because of a descendant of my family, and after beating the holy son of the Wangxiang heavenly palace back to the heavens, you should know that I, Xiao Xian, will not be afraid of your Zhongtian Xiao family. When he said the last sentence, Xiao Xian had a smile in his eyes. But it gave Xiao Ao the feeling of being stared at by the god of death. A creepy feeling rose from deep in my heart. Seeing Xiao Xian's attitude, he also knew that his plan this time would not be completed. Therefore, he no longer concealed his emotions and directly burst out with the momentum belonging to the god of war. The tables and chairs around him instantly turned into powder. Xiao Xian, you will pay the price for today's decision. Then he took a group of Zhongtian members and elders to leave. At this moment, Xiao Xian spoke. Wait a minute. Xiao Ao thought that Xiao Xian had changed his mind and was about to state his conditions in full. As a result, the other party's words almost caused him to bite off his tongue. You destroyed the belongings of my Xiao family in southern Xinjiang and didn't even leave any compensation. Not only does this disgrace the upbringing of your Zhongtian Xiao family, it also slaps me in the face. Xiao Ao's original intention of taking advantage of the situation was shattered instantly. Immediately, his own terrifying momentum broke out. The momentum belonging to the 1,000-year-old martial god's magic power burst out instantly. A divine power belonging to the martial god also broke out at this moment. The elders of the Zhongtian Xiao family standing behind him also showed proud expressions at this time. As long as Xiao Ao takes action, there is no one who cannot be frightened. However, they made a mistake here with Xiao Xian. Just when they thought everything was safe, a scene that shocked everyone happened. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 140. The 1,000-year mana aura erupted from Xiao Ao's body. In an instant, it erupted in the Xiao family, and a series of powerful forces with the power of God gathered together. Everyone in the Xiao family was horrified by this scene. Even Bai Fangniao and Roaring Sky Dog, who were guarding the demon locking tower and the Xiao family's gate, looked over. Seeing that he was just a little martial god with thousands of years of magic power, they each took back their spiritual consciousness. At the same time, he also showed a look of disdain. Xiao Xian, such a little guy, can handle this with just one look. Xiao Ao looked at Xiao Xian indifferently. Since he can't be soft, then he should be hard. Let Xiao Xian suffer a little first, and then give him 2 dates, and the matter will be completed. Behind him appeared an extremely terrifying natal Dharma image. The terrifying divine power is constantly raging. Then he pointed a finger and headed towards Xiao Xian's face. At this time, Xiao Xian looked at Xiao Ao indifferently, and an unparalleled sword intent burst out from his eyes. The terrifying sword energy swept across the sky, and the terrifying sword force swept over instantly. Everyone in the Xiao family in Zhongtian was shocked when they saw this scene. The sword energy flew towards Xiao Ao with unparalleled momentum. Just a burst of sword energy made Xiao Ao unable to move. A sense of blood-suppressed terror swept through his body at this moment. In the eyes of everyone who was extremely shocked and stunned, Xiao Ao's body flew out instantly and landed on his chest. There was even a long sword energy gap. Xiao Ao fell to the ground and kept vomiting blood. Both his eyes and expression revealed deep horror. Everyone in the Xiao family in Zhongtian was also shocked by Xiao Xian's terrifying strength. Then he hurriedly stepped forward to help Xiao Ao. Xiao Xian slowly walked towards Xiao Ao. In front of his forehead, there was a long sword that erupted with a terrifying aura. An elder who was half a martial god strode forward and pointed at Xiao Xian angrily. Xiao Xian, you are so brave. We came to negotiate with you, and you actually seriously injured our great elder. You. But he didn't wait until he finished speaking. The half-step martial god elder felt as if all the blood in his body was solidified. Even the tendons in the body seemed to be broken. In his extremely stunned eyes, he instantly became a bloody man. Before anyone could react, he turned into a bloody mist. Elder, everyone exclaimed again. Seeing the elder disappearing in front of them, everyone no longer dared to take any action. Their eyes looking at Xiao Xian were also full of fear. Let a person die inexplicably like this. Xiao Xian is still the first. Therefore, they are also extremely afraid of Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian's indifferent voice also penetrated everyone's hearts at this moment. Who do you think you are? How dare you question the head of this family? His eyes swept over everyone. At this moment, everyone felt as if they were being targeted by death. That feeling of fear quickly rose from deep in my heart. Even if they believe that they have the cultivation level of a martial god. But in front of Xiao Xian, he was like a child learning to talk. As long as he is willing, he can kill them in minutes. This scene also reminded them of when they faced Xiao Wuxi. Xiao Xian is more terrifying than that person. There was silence for a moment. Then he was broken by Xiao Xian's voice again. Today, you, Xiao Ao of Zhongtian Xiao family, ignored the majesty of my family master and committed the following crime. He destroyed the belongings of my Xiao family and had murderous intentions towards the head of the family, so he was detained by the head of the family. He should have been executed immediately, but for the sake of sharing the same surname, the head of the family spared his life. Death penalty can be avoided, but living crime cannot be avoided. Within 3 months, your Zhongtian Xiao family needs to bring 3 top-quality spiritual veins. 5 million top-quality spiritual stones come to redeem the person, otherwise, there will be no corpse. Don't wait until the time comes. When everyone heard this condition, they immediately felt that Xiao Xian was talking to the lion. But they don't dare to say it. After all, I don't even know how he died. Then he could only put down the unconscious Xiao Ao and run outside in a panic. This scene was in sharp contrast to the high-spirited appearance when they came in. It also caused everyone in the Xiao family to burst into laughter. Then Xiao Xian waved his hand and threw Xiao Ao directly into the demon locking tower. Qianqi, this person will be detained here for 3 months. If no one comes to redeem him after 3 months, he will be killed directly. It was not only Xiao Ao who was imprisoned, but also the face of the Xiao family in Zhongtian. Then Xiao Xian led everyone in the Xiao family to the meeting hall. Seeing the solemn expressions of several core elders, Xiao Xian couldn't help but laugh. Why are the elders like this? Xiao Jianfeng and several other elders looked at each other, then took a step forward. Master, if you are at odds with Zhongtian, I'm afraid it will have a bad impact on the Xiao family. Xiao Xian raised his eyebrows and smiled. Even if the head of this family does not antagonize them today, the Zhongtian Xiao family will not let us go. Do you really think they just want to merge the 2 companies? Xiao Xian's words made Xiao Jianfeng and several elders immediately realize that something was wrong. Then Xiao Xian slowly opened his mouth and said, the geniuses of the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang emerge in large numbers, each one more powerful than the other. Especially for geniuses like Xiao Tianyun and Xiao Qingyun, if one of them appears in the Zhongtian Xiao family. The power of the Xiao family in Zhongtian is about to reach a higher level, not to mention other geniuses. Xiao Jianfeng and the other elders vaguely noticed something. Could it be? Yes, as you think, the Xiao family in Zhongtian is our genius. Not only that, he also wanted to know how these geniuses were cultivated. If they are really found, the Xiao family in Zhongtian will become the #1 force in the vast world just around the corner. After listening to Xiao Xian's explanation, Xiao Jianfeng and others suddenly became furious. This is what they had in mind. Xiao Xian smiled calmly, but this time Xiao Ao stayed, which can be regarded as playing a big role. Firstly, it can test the intentions of the Xiao family in Zhongtian, and secondly, it can also lay the foundation for the future. Yes, if they don't redeem people, then I will destroy them. The elder on the side was a little worried and took a step forward. What if they are unwilling to redeem people? When Xiao Xian heard this, he showed a sly smile. If you refuse to redeem someone, you are becoming an enemy of my Xiao family. I, Xiao Xian, will never be merciless when dealing with my enemies. Then he stood up slowly, with his hands behind his back, and his eyes sparkled. Since the establishment of the Xiao family, they have had their own set of rules for doing things. He does not take the initiative to cause trouble and is not afraid of it. He does not bully the weak and is not afraid of the powerful. But if someone takes the initiative to cause trouble, I, Xiao Xian, am not a vegetarian either. The Xiao family is not easy to mess with. No matter who he is, what kind of power or background he has, if he offends my Xiao family, he will be destroyed. Speaking of this, Xiao Xian couldn't help but erupt with a terrifying aura. Seeing this scene, several core elders also knew what Xiao Xian meant. Therefore, he was filled with emotion in his heart, and then he bowed to him and retreated. Time flies, and all the major forces in the vast world are working hard to cultivate for the top 10 forces. Even the Blood Knife sect is secretly plotting their plans. At this time, the headquarters of Blood Knife sect. In the main hall, the Dry Bones martial god came with a group of core senior personnel. Seeing the figure sitting in the main hall, everyone knelt down and kowtowed with great excitement. Then the figure slowly turned into black smoke, gradually forming a man in black robes. This person is none other than the young emperor of the demon clan in all the worlds. The Dry Bones martial god leads a group of core elders at the martial god level. He looked at the young emperor as if he were looking at his own beliefs. There was deep enthusiasm in his eyes. The young emperor nodded slowly. Everyone, get up. Everyone dared not look directly into his eyes, and bowed their bodies and lowered their heads. Where is the saint? Why can't I see her here? The young emperor asked after looking around. The withered bone martial god trembled, and then answered cautiously. Reporting to the young emperor, after the saint came to the next session, she did not receive the golden elixir given by you and left alone. When the young emperor heard this, he didn't mean to blame them. He knew Gu Qinjiao's character, and by not accepting this golden elixir, he was on guard against him. The withered bones martial god was relieved to see that the young emperor did not blame them. Young emperor, do you have anything you want us to bring to your highness the saint? The young emperor waved his hand. Since she left without leaving any news, you can even give her a message. She won't listen either. There is no need to do such useless things. This time when this young emperor comes, I have other things to ask you to do, so I'll put aside the saint's matters for now. The Dry Bones martial god immediately knelt on the ground. Young emperor, just ask, my subordinates can do it, and I will do it after your death. The young emperor Motzi nodded. This young emperor wants you to open the entrance to the world barrier. When the Dry Bones martial god and others heard this, their expressions suddenly changed. Opening the entrance to the world barrier is the start of a war between the demons and the vast world. It is equivalent to pushing the demons to the opposite side of the vast world. Every time the demons open the world barrier, it is the beginning of a large-scale demon war. Each demon clan has its own small world entrance, and the Blood Knife sect is one of the larger demon clans. Once you open your own small world barrier, other demons will also open it. At that time, all other demons will come, with their bloodthirsty demonic nature. The vast world will then fall into a purgatory-like existence. When the demons come here, they will not only bring endless killings, but also destroy all living things. Young Emperor, opening the world barrier and triggering the demon war is tantamount to putting the demons on the opposite side of the world. Why? An elder at the level of a martial god stepped forward to ask a question. The young emperor looked at him with a half-smile, followed by the elder of the martial god with thousands of years of magic power. Then it turned into a blood mist in front of everyone, and blood splashed on the corners of the eyes, making everyone blink in surprise. However, under such circumstances, they had no intention of wiping the blood from the corners of their eyes. No one dared to ask again what was the reason why the demons triggered the demonic war. The death of the elder martial god was the result of their inquiry. Is this young emperor's matter something that you should also ask about? The young emperor's cold voice came from above, and his sinister eyes swept over everyone one by one. Young emperor is unparalleled in bravery, everyone crouched on the ground in fear. The young emperor nodded upon seeing this. Then he waved his sleeves out of thin air, and several black jade bottles were suspended in the air. As a demon son of the demon clan, he is also the future demon emperor. The combination of kindness and power is something that comes easily to him. These bottles contain the blood essence of different powerful people. Every drop of blood essence is active. Not only can it help you improve your cultivation level, but it can also increase your mana for 20,000 years. Now this young emperor gives them to you, hoping that you can practice well. Then he handed these jade bottles containing active blood essence to the dry bones martial god and others. Essence and blood are not uncommon in the heavens, but active essence and blood are extremely difficult to obtain. Because it contains a ray of my soul. This is also extremely difficult to find in the heavens. After all, tearing the soul is equivalent to tearing the physical body. However, this is something that can be easily solved for the demons. In addition, the plan this time is very grand, and he will not be stingy with rewards. The few people who had received the activated essence and blood were naturally more obedient to the young emperor. Seeing everyone's expressions, the young emperor continued. This is just a small reward. After this plan is completed, this young emperor will also reward you heavily. Not only will you be taken to the heavens, you can still stay and work in this young emperor's magic palace. You just need to cooperate with this action. After hearing these words, everyone was even more surprised. Being able to go to the heavens and work in the devil's palace is what they dream of. I will do my best to complete this plan for His Highness the young emperor. The young emperor nodded with satisfaction, then thought of something and gave orders to everyone. By the way, don't let the saint know about this matter for the time being. Even if you do, you should also hide it from her as much as possible. If she orders you to stop your actions, just ignore it. Although everyone did not know the reason for this, they did not dare to ask more questions, so they could only accept it. In the demon palace of the demons in the heavens, the young emperor slowly opened his eyes, and his eyes were filled with light. My good daughter, my father knows that you are soft-hearted, so he personally helped you solve this matter. You don't need to be grateful to your father. After all, millions of years of mana are too important to your father. This is an indispensable part of the magic power for a father to become an immortal. Father, I believe that with your cultivation and physique, you will be able to easily obtain this million-year magic power. Who made you a derivative Taoist body? As long as you do good deeds, you can continuously improve your cultivation level. Although you hide it well, your father is a demon son. If you can't even see through this little trick, how can we firmly sit on the throne of the devil? Originally, with your physique, your father is going to put you to death. Who would have thought that you would actually die because of that woman in the human world? In the end, he was controlled by me. It was true that even God was helping me achieve the great cause of becoming an immortal. When the young emperor thought of this, he couldn't help laughing happily. Originally, with Gu Qinjiao's physique, if he concentrated on practicing, it would definitely become a stumbling block for him. But the human woman he left behind turned out to be a thread that tied her down. This allowed the young emperor to see an excellent chess piece that could be used infinitely. At the same time, Xiao Wen, the head of the Xiao family in Zhongtian, is communicating with the heavens. Is this Xiao Xian so strong? In the picture above his head, there is a back figure dressed in black. Yes, he even detained Elder Xiao Ao for this. The portrait over there was silent for a moment, and then spoke. Since he is unwilling to merge into the Zhongtian Xiao family, then just annex it. I will give active essence, blood, and elixirs, as well as 300 martial gods. We must seize the opportunity to break through in these 2 months, and we must annex the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang. In this operation, it is related to the future development of our Xiao family in Zhongtian, and the luck reward for the top of the top 10 power rankings. It is also a key factor in whether our Xiao family can become the top power in the world. So regardless of whether the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang agrees or not, and regardless of their strength, he must be taken down. No matter how talented they are or what their background is, they must belong to our Zhongtian Xiao family. Then, a golden beam of light descended from the screen. Xiao Wen, who had received a reward from the Lords of Heaven, naturally knew the importance of this matter. Then he distributed these rewards to core personnel. Give me the order. In 2 months, I will follow my master to attack the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang.